Hello, and thank you for watching. Welcome to the Quarantine Theater Company's reading of Romancing the Stone, the lovely 80s classic. So tonight we've just got a small cast here for you because it's not a hugely cast movie. Um, we've got George with us. He's going to be our Jack Colton for tonight. Little Michael Douglas action. I will be Joan Wilder because I cast myself because it's my reading. Alexander is going to be a Ralph and apparently all the Latinos tonight.
Ay, ay, ay!
So, yeah, Brick Up Spice. We've also got Travis. Travis is going to be our Ira this evening, one of our bad guys. And Jennifer is going to be my lovely sister Elaine and our scene direction tonight. So, without further ado, take us away, Calgon.
All right, hey, Romancing the Stone by Diane Thomas. Fade in, interior, mountain cabin. And I can pronounce that, and I'm going to take off my video so I don't feel so awkward. Interior. Okay, I'll start with Grogan. Grogan! He fills that doorway. He's a dark hulk against the dazzling light outside. He cocks his shotgun. Flies buzz, hides hanging from the beams. Something simmers in a pot over the fire. Tumbling river waters are heard in the distance. All else is still. It is 1875. A cigarette dangles from Grogan's lips.
What's it gonna be, Angelina?
It seems endless. I was sure I'd lost him at the river in the winter of '74.
Shotgun aimed at her breast. He takes a step inside. Angelina. Angelina surreptitiously slides a boot dagger from its sheath.
Die two ways, Angel. Quick like the tongue of the snake, or slower than the molasses in January.
When I told him it was October,
I'll kill you if it was the goddamn 4th of July. Where is it?
His eyes dart about the room, look into the saddlebags on the bunk. He moves that way. With one graceful movement, Angelina grabs the dagger's tip and flips it underhand. A silver flash streaks through the air, and Grogan falls back out the door, deader than yesterday. Angelina throws on a doeskin poncho and snatches up the saddlebags.
that was the end of Grogan, the man who killed my father, raped and murdered my sister, burned my ranch, shot my dog, and stole my Bible.
Blasphemous. Cut to exterior cabin day, stealing the shotgun off Grogan. Angelina cocks a weapon and scans the area. Her horse is tethered near Grogan's.
We had come alone, but if there was one law in the West, bastards and brothers.
Cut to exterior Badlands day. Angelina races up a gulch, suddenly reins in her horse.
Who seemed to ride forever.
POV shot, four badasses, the brothers, in matching ankle-length coats, thunder towards her on matching stallions. They simultaneously pull up short, squinting into the sun. Back to scene. Angelina glances up over her shoulder. POV shot, on the ridge, a man on horseback silhouetted against the afternoon sun, his hat particularly familiar.
But Jesse would stop them. He promised me that.
On the word, Jesse comes thundering down the slope. The badasses. Those badasses, they go for their guns. Jesse whips out a lever-action Winchester, pumping fire at a dead gallop as he races by.
Jesse never broke a promise.
POV shot, the brothers. Four of Jesse's crack shots spin a revolver high in the air, blow off a hat, snap a saddle cinch, dumping the rider, and explode the barrel of a rifle. Jesse chases after the brothers, the unmounted badass sprinting after his steed, grabbing mane and jumping him bareback. That's what she
My
said.
legs wrapped tighter around my steed as I watched Jesse give chase. He was a rider in the whirlwind, roaring away into the tweeds.
Into the tweez. Cut to interior apartment. Close on typewriter page. Day.
Tweez.
A self-correcting IBM Selectric backtracks, lifting the last three letters of the page.
trees.
That's what I thought, Joan. Pull back to reveal Joan Charles, surrounded by globes, books, maps, tacked to bulletin boards, a stack of mail marked Elaine. She pauses for a cup of coffee. A woman who has never developed any confidence in herself. She turns back to her work as the doorbell buzzes. She hesitates, checks her calendar. No appointments. All very puzzling. Again, the bell buzzes. Interior, living room, moving to the intercom. Joan passes her exercycle. Peloton, if you will, if we were going to do this now, and the framed cover of her previous novels, The Ravagers, The Return of Angelina, etc. Again, the buzzer sounds twice, fast. Joan slows, pauses, finally depresses the speaker button.
Hello?
Jean Charles.
Yes?
Zolo coughs.
Hello? Hello?
The continued silence is unsettling, even eerie. Joan crosses to the street window, peers down. Joan's POV. 3 stories down, we catch a glimpse of a large man climbing into a taxi. An ominous figure in a dark overcoat and aviator shades. Excuse me. But Joan's eyes see something else. A young couple, obviously very much in love, walking arm in arm, bundled up against the cold New York winter. Angle on Joan. The wistful look on her face tells us how much Joan wishes to be arm in arm, and the rueful shake of her head indicates how little hope she has that that wish will come true. Same girl. Joan lets the curtain fall back. Near her is a photograph of herself and her older sister, Elaine. Elaine, standing in the foreground, big smile on her face, while Joan behind is almost cowering, afraid of the camera. Joan again peeks out the window. Then, with renewed determination, she returns to her typewriter. Close on the typewriter page.
A rider in the whirlwind, roaring away into the trees.
Cut to exterior Badlands, dusk. Angelina and horse seem like one as they race off. Angelina looking back over her shoulder.
And I knew then that Jesse would never disappoint me. He was the man I loved, the one man I could trust, and we would spend the rest of our lives together.
Cut to the typewriter page. Again, the machine backtracks to underscore the word together. Joan leans back in her chair with a sigh.
Right.
Cut to exterior Joan's apartment building day. Joan walks hurriedly, tries hailing a cab, but it goes right by her. Pausing, she notices up ahead some tough-looking punk types lingering around a lamppost. She decides to cross the street rather than go directly past them. Cut to exterior Brentano's bookstore day. As an editor, well, he's Richard, and he's an attractive in an intellectual way, and a junior editor, Carolyn, scans pedestrians. Behind them, a big poster announces Joan's newest book, Angelina's Savage Secret, with an added notice taped across it, Joan Charles. Today, they see Joan climbing out of a cab a little up the street. They rush to meet her.
Joan, come on, you're late. People are waiting.
Richard, please, I'm nervous enough. I'm not going to have to speak, am I?
You don't have to speak. It's a simple book signing session. Besides, the crowd is interested in Angelina, not in you.
All right, crowd. What crowd? You said it was a simple book signing session.
For God's sake, Joan, it's 10 o'clock on a weekday morning. I mean, how many people can there be?
And he practically shoves Joan through the bookstore door, where at least 8 billion housewives are waiting for her. Joan turns white. Cut to interior Brentano's bookstore day, littered after the book signing session. A weary Joan can't seem to detach herself from the iron grip of the one and most fantastic and fanatical housewife fan who remains. Oh my God, you're my favorite writer. Angelina is my favorite character. Your books have saved my life. Their eyes hold, then the fan scurries off. Joan staring after incredulously. Richard is packing his briefcase hurriedly.
I think you charmed him.
By stammering and staring at my toes?
People expect great writers to be eccentric.
If Savage Secret is great writing, the world's in a lot of trouble.
500,000 copies in advance sales don't lie. And you always say that when you finish a new one, especially when it's late.
Well, Richard, I think I'm running out of steam. Maybe we could talk about it at dinner tonight?
Uh, Joan, I'm sorry, I forgot I made an appointment, and
Nope. Or don't worry. I don't mind. I don't mind.
next week for sure. Anyway, have a nice evening.
Thanks, but I've made other plans.
He leaves her in the rubble. Sorry, Carolyn comes over to look for 2 clean cups in it. Why do you subject yourself to types like that? You could do so much better.
Yeah. And what other life?
She sighs, looking over the way the last fan left.
A woman just said my book saved her life. I never knew what I was getting into.
Well, where else will men keep their word, women hold their own, and love burn through to the end? We all need our fantasies, right? And our vodka. That's a girl I can get behind. Come on, Carolyn. Oh, shit. Damn, Carolyn. All right.
Okay,
Joan doesn't smile at the joke. She looks grim. I know what bad timing this was. Your sister doing... Did they find her husband's body yet?
No. Only the one piece.
Oh my God. Is she holding up?
Elaine? She's always been the tough one in the family. Elaine always manages.
Cut 2. Thing I can't read. Day. Suddenly, shutter slammed down, blocking the view. Someone wearing designer jeans is in a big hurry across the room, grabbing up a suitcase, stuff hanging out of it, so much so that it falls open and a photograph drops out, the same photograph seen on Joan's wall, her and her smiling sister. And as the photo is picked up, we pan up to Elaine, not smiling, couldn't even begin to. Desperation is etched on her face, big sunglasses, hiding crying eyes, black scarf covering her hair, thrusting the photo back into its case, on her way out. Cut 2. Scroll down that page. A Ferrari backing out of a garage and out the front gates of this villa. A few children out here play on the Colombian equivalent of jacks. A frail young boy, 10, practices with Ebola by the fountain across the way. The Ferrari jerks to a stop. Elaine, jumping out, leaving the door open, to hurry to close the villa gates. Stealing nervous glances over her shoulder, she rushes back to the Ferrari. Just as she gets one foot inside, the boy slings his bola. The bola wraps around her neck, one ball striking her hand, knocking her unconscious. She falls sideways into the car. Ouch! Racing over, the boy shoves her across the seat, slides behind the wheel, and lays rubber as he takes off. Damn, bitch. Come on, Ferris Bueller. The game of jacks continues unabated. Just a normal day in the neighborhood. Cut 2, exterior street of Cartagena? Am I saying that right?
Cartagena.
Cartagena. Thank you. I'm sorry. It's been a while. Cartagena. Day. Thank you. I won't fuck it up again. I'm sorry. Palms line the seashore, snow-capped Sierra Nevada, the backdrop. The Ferrari careens around a corner, roars up the avenue towards the harbor. Elaine, slumped in the seat next to the young driver. Cut 2, exterior Old Fort Battlements. Day. Over Ralph's shoulder, we see the Ferrari making its approach. Ralph turns. A short New Yorker with a huge chip on his shoulder, the most put-upon person in every neighborhood in which he has ever lived.
The kid's here with the broad.
He's talking to his cousin Ira, who, seemingly indifferent, is pitching chicken entrails over the wall, feeding large crocodiles basking in a bog swamp below where river, sea, and fort meet. A small freighter is moored nearby. The car pulls right up next to it. Scum of the earth crew members waiting to meet it.
Look at those snappers, will ya?
Excuse me. Once a hustler in New York, Ira parlayed ego and a conniving sensibility into a moderate-sized operation in Colombia. Ralph is Ira's henchman, and none too happy about his status or the way he is treated. He rolls his eyes, comes over.
I'm real nervous about this whole thing. I'm not kidding. It's nothing but trouble. It's a piss poor idea. Why can't we just kiss off this third world toilet?
Whoa! Do you see that? Look at it, Rolf. That ugly, striped son of a bitch down there. You see him?
He's exhausted his supply of entrails, now starts heading away, down towards the freighter, Ralph trailing.
Let's eat this one, Ira. What do you say? We'll take the loss on this one.
Jeez, those Crocs are nasty buggers, I tell ya.
Cut to interior stateroom, plush, filled with Colombian treasures. Elaine, still groggy, is on a chair, circled by Ira. Ralph is cutting her valise to pieces. Valise? Valise? I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it. Admiring some lingerie, fondling the jewelry, pocketing the money. What are you looking for? Who are you?
Customs officials. Hard to get out of this country, isn't it?
You killed my husband.
No, I didn't, sweetheart, but I know who did. And if you think a lot of bad shit's been coming down on you lately, believe me, you don't. Yeah, shit looks like.
Nothing. If he didn't send it to the wife, where did he send it?
My husband was just an antique dealer.
The way you're used to living, he was a smuggler, baby. Rest in peace. And I ran his stuff out for him, tied up all his loose ends, all except a certain document he lucked upon for about 5 minutes before someone chopped him into dog food to get it. Now all you gotta do is tell me where he mailed it, because the reason your beloved Eduardo is dead is because he told me where his killer were. Yeah, tell me where he mailed it, Elaine, so I can get it to it first, so no one else ends up on a meat hook, so you and whoever you got left has a chance.
Elaine can hardly speak now, so she's frightened. She's so frightened. And not only for herself anymore. I know he mailed some things to my sister. Cut to interior Joan's apartment day. Joan sets her table for lunch. While a romantic song plays from her stereo, she sets her place sensitively, neatly, artistically arranging the non-matching antique plates, lace mats, etc., doilies, whatnot. She sings along with the song. Finally, everything nicely in place, she serves herself the meal. A grilled cheese sandwich and yesterday's salad, plopped right on the plate in the middle of the fine setting. The phone rings, scaring her.
Hello?
Intercut, interior, freighter stateroom, night. Ira hovers menacingly by Elaine. Ralph is off by himself, cheating at solitaire. How do you cheat at solitaire? Anyway, still uncomfortable with the situation. Joan? Joni?
Elaine? Where are you?
Joan, listen to me.
Elaine, what's the matter?
Elaine speaks in cool, measured tones. Joan, listen to me, please. I think an envelope was forwarded to you with Eduardo's handwriting on it. A big envelope.
Yes, I've got it right here.
Open it, Joan. Is there a map in there? Joan takes it out. Old, 2 halves, taped together, enclosed in a clear plastic, watertight envelope.
Yes, it says El Corazon.
Now, Joan, you must bring it to me. You have to bring the map to Colombia.
Elaine, for God's sake, what kind of trouble are you in?
There are some people here who want the map. Joni, do you understand? Joan is speechless. You can't tell the police. You can't tell anyone. You have to come here, Joan, with the map. And then everything will be all right.
Elaine, please.
You have a room waiting at the Hotel Emporio in Cartagena. Cartagena. Damn it. In Cartagena. I'm writing it down. Hotel Emporio. You should write it down too. The front desk will have a telephone number for you to call. You have a passport, don't you? See, I still pronounce shit correctly, Travis. You can shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
But I've never used it, Elaine. I can't do this. I can't go to Colombia by myself.
You know I wouldn't ask. You know I never have. They'll cut me, Joan. They're gonna cut me. Hold on Joan's face, numb. Cut 2. Interior Joan's foyer night. The deadbolt softly clicks open. A gloved hand eases inside, flicks open a stiletto. A man stifles his cough. Zolo slips in the door. Colombian, dark overcoat, aviator shades. Zolo is 40-some years of bad news. Ruthless would apply. He steals down the dark hallway. Zolo eases open the bedroom door. A streetlight reveals an empty bed. Zolo snaps on the light. Open drawers, closet, clothes gone. Joan Charles, staring up from the dust jacket, backs in on a carton on the floor. He spots the phone pad. He picks it up. Insert pad. It reads, Cartania. Damn it. I'm going to keep on freaking pronouncing it wrong. Damn it. Cartagena. Damn it. I don't know.
Cartagena.
Cartagena. Damn it. Cartagena. Doodling. Pan Am flight number and a departure time. Cut 2. Runway night. A 727 takes wing. Cut 2. Interior jet night. Cartagena. Most passengers are asleep. Not Joan. Smart liquor bottles. Liqueur. Ew. God, Joan. What are you drinking? Fireball? And shredded cocktail napkins surround her. An air sickness bag is open and ready. Yeah, girl. He picks nervously at Peanuts as she studies the flight safety card, memorizing the exit.
I forgot a captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been informed that temporary closed will be making an alternative landing at Barranquilla. Complimentary ground transportation will be provided for passengers bound for Cartagena. We apologize for the...
Oh shit, I was muted. I'm sorry. Joan has been wincing all the way through. Now a stewardess makes her jump by leaning at her.
Feeling better? Can I get you another Dramamine?
No, thank you. What about this airport?
It's really nothing to worry about. It's just a 2-hour bus ride.
Stewardess goes away, walking down the aisle past another passenger who is not asleep. Zolo, smoke from a cigarillo, drifting up into the ray of his pinpoint reading light. He watches Joan further up the aisle on the opposite side. Joan fumbles for something in her purse, pulling the map out to make room. Now it piques her interest. She studies it, and Zolo lowers his shades. Cut 2, interior bus terminal night. Joan emerges from customs into an inferno of noise and confusion, caught in the cross-current of Indians carrying poultry, screaming babies. Joan is swept outside concourse. Joan makes her anxious way as best as she can through the crowd. Zolo, following, pauses by an armed soldier. Flips out a badge. The soldier stiffens. Salutes. Zolo confiscates his pistol. Continues after Joan. Joan has arrived at a line of old buses. No idea which is the right one. She tries to question an approaching official.
Excuse?
Well, but he doesn't notice her. Now a loader grabs her suitcase to hand it up to the man, I guess, who's in charge of the bus.
Wait a minute. Momento. Cartagena?
Vámonos, vámonos.
Is this the bus to Carta?
A new hand helps give the suitcase a push-up. Zolo.
See, Cartagena.
Cut 2, further down the concourse, a battered old Renault. Yeah, come on, same car from another reading. Convertible bounces up on a curve. Ralph jumps out, grabs an official.
The flight from New York to Cartagena, the flight that was diverted here, has it arrived already?
But now he spots Joan disappearing inside that bus. He glances at the photo of her on the dust jacket of the hardback as he clutches in one hand, the other hand letting go of the airport official as Ralph now fights his way towards the bus. Cut 2, interior bus. Joan finds herself a window seat, shoulder bag strapped against her body. An Indian squeezes in beside her. She looks around, disoriented and tired, squawking chickens and children, oh my, and happens to notice in the back, Zolo, calmly smoking. Grinding into gear, the bus lurches forward, launching several still unseated passengers. Cut 2, outside, only yards away from the departing bus, Ralph pivots, joins his way back to the Renault. Cut 2, a crossroads. The bus downshifts and turns off the main road in a direction contrary to the arrow on the Cartagena. God damn it. Yes, did it? Yes. Cartagena, I did it. Yay! Road sign, interior bus. but Joan is still asleep. Cut to exterior crossroad. The little Renault arrives, pauses. I can't even see the chat. I'm not looking up. Makes the same turn as the bus. Cut to interior Renault. Ralph chases up the road after the bus, immediately losing ground. He pushes his body in a rocking motion. The taillights ahead grow smaller, then vanish into the darkness. Cut to exterior Columbia dawn. First light bids good morning to Columbia's spectacular mountains. At first glance, it appears to be virgin wilderness, but we see headlights on a primitive road winding around the mountain. Cut to interior bus morning. Purse still clutched in her lap, Joan wakes up. The bus has stopped. Some passengers are getting off here. With a wide yawn, she glances out the dusty window. The eyes go wider. She struggles with the window. Finally slides it up, gets a clear view. Joan's POV, a vast panorama of spectacular mountains, rainforest, and jungle. Interior bus. Joan immediately nudges the Indian beside her, waking him up too.
Scusa, Cartagena? ¿Dónde está?
Cartagena?
Sí, Cartagena.
He shrugs, doesn't understand what she wants, and the bus jerks off again, uphill. Cut to exterior mountain road. The bus heads over the top of a grade and begins to pick up speed as it starts a descent. Cut to interior bus. Joan is with difficulty making her way up the aisle to the driver, grabbing a pole to steady herself there.
I'm sorry to bother you.
The driver tries looking over his shoulder at her and concentrate on the tricky road at the same time.
Travis.
It's
Damn it,
finished.
Travis.
It's finished. We have to go back the way we came. There's nothing ahead. Isn't a town for 200 miles. There's nothing.
I'm sorry.
Are
I
you
don't
reading
know.
the speed script?
Okay.
K. If I can say Cartagena, then you can say K.
I have to say that next, but I'm going to wait till I...
There now, I hit play.
Okay.
What time do we arrive in Cartagena? K Aura.
A blind turn is coming up ahead.
Cartagena?
See, yes. Am I on the right bus?
And they're going around it.
Cartagena? No. Yes.
But now he glances forward and holy shit! Cut to exterior of the road. A Jeep is parked right there in the road and the bus can't help colliding straight into it. Screeching of brakes, cascading of luggage from the top of the bus, and crash! Cut to birds. Pew, pew, pew. They go flying from the center of the collision. Fabulous multicolored birds, all let loose from the churning dust. Interior bus. One last bag from an overhead rack crashes to the floor where Joan now lies. Joan pulls herself up, peers out the front windshield, trying to see through the clearing dust. Exterior, the road. Driver and passengers start shakily emerging. One look at the scene is enough to make the driver throw up his hands helplessly. Front of the bus caved in, tires flat, engine smoking. He and the Indians gather around the wrecked Jeep. No owner in sight. It's a write-off. It's a write-off. Damn. Come on, TurboTax. Suddenly, boom! The radiator of the bus blows. Everybody turns back to that. Long suffering, the driver kicks the bus.
It's finished. We have to go back the way we've come. There's nothing ahead. Isn't a town for 200 miles. There's nothing. Zip.
Joan.
Zip.
Yeah, thank you, Travis. Joan, oblivious. She stands there in her New York outfit, watching the other passengers start to trudge away, back the way the bus has come. Before going, a couple of Indians, still over at the Jeep, take bird cages that still have birds in them. Joan follows the other passengers' actions. Clearly, this is the kind of occurrence they've dealt with before. She begins to take her suitcase off the bus.
You don't have to walk. Another bus will come along.
She turns to see him standing next to her, calmly smoking a cigarillo.
They know nothing. They are peasants.
Another bus, really?
Of course. There are schedules to be even in Colombia.
Come on, maintained. The driver and other passengers are marching away now. Cut to angle on Joan. She sits on her suitcase. holds her head in her hands. Cut 2, angle on Zolo. He calmly passes around, smoking. Cut 2, the other passengers, moving in the distance. Heading around the bend, in the road. Cut 2, the bus. Joan sitting there, Zolo standing there, the other passengers almost gone in the distance now. Zolo glances that way, sees the last Indian go around the bend, pulling a lingering child with her, deathly quiet. The first quiet of the movie. Joan still sits still with her head in her hands until she hears a cough and looks up. Zolo draws a gun, the one he took from the airport soldier. She stands, starts backing off.
What are you...
He advances, holding his unarmed hand.
The purse.
Then something beyond Zolo catches her eye, and Zolo looks where she's looking. A man, in silhouette, outlined against the morning sun, his hat particularly familiar, carrying a water bag. Coming this way, Zolo immediately shoots at him, exploding the water bag, and the stranger immediately unslings the Winchester 12-gauge pump he carries, and he returns fire. Joan dives instinctively towards the bus, rolling under. Zolo dives into the bus, firing at the stranger. The stranger, seen only from the back, moves with the grace of a dancer. Hell yeah, Baryshnikov pumps a shot at the window of the bus. Inside, Zolo ducks, moving towards the back. Outside, the stranger moves along, pumping off shots along the windows of the bus. Joan cringes under it, glass flying all over the place as the shots smash through the window. Zolo runs the gauntlet along the aisle to the back, smashes his way out the back, landing with a roll. Zolo runs like hell off into the trees as a final blast sounds behind him. Under the bus, the boots of her savior walk past her over to the wrecked Jeep. After a moment, he turns. The boots come walking back. Joan tenses. The boots stop at her, and Jack Colton crouches into view. She fumbles for her Spanish-American dictionary.
Por favor, por favor.
He takes a dictionary from her, looks at her.
Where are my birds?
Cut 2, exterior mountain road, downhill somewhere. Zolo trips, swears, and he keeps on going. Cut 2, the Renault. Wheezing up the grade, passing the bus passengers, making their descent. Ralph almost has a heart attack where further along Zolo jumps into the road ahead, waving his arms. He flashes his badge at Ralph and gets into the car, turning around. The passenger door flies open and shut, nearly ejecting Zolo as the Renault flies back down the grade, overtaking the Indians. Cut 2, interior Renault. Riding with the law, Ralph is totally unnerved. He pulls his hat down further, steals glances at Zolo.
Don't I know you? No comprendo. You are American. American, pa! I hate American. I spit on American. You must be French.
Ralph feels faint. Oh shit, it's still me. Cut 2, back at the bus. I'm sorry, guys. Jack is rummaging around at the rubble of his wrecked Jeep. He's spotted something. Digs around a bit to pull it carefully out. It is a picture in a cracked frame of a boat. His dream boat. He lovingly removes the picture, folds it, crouches down to put the picture away in his backpack.
Excuse me, sorry?
He turns. She's standing before him, shoulder bag strapped to her, suitcase in hand, 3-piece Bergdorf suit, 2-inch heels, sunglasses. Being neat is her way of coping at the moment.
But do you know where I might find a phone?
Lady, I have no idea.
It's very important that
Well, we all got our problems,
off.
don't we?
Is there a town near here? Will another bus be along?
Well, he takes her to the middle of the road, shows her one direction, wilderness, desolation. Shows her the other direction, wilderness, desolation. He looks at her.
And this is rush hour.
He looks up at the sky. Storm clouds are gathering. He hurries to gather and secure his backpack.
I must get to a phone. I'm supposed to be in Cartagena.
Cartagena? You're hell and gone from Cartagena, Angel. Cartagena's on the coast.
But I was told this bus.
Who told you that?
The man who
Pulled a gun on you. What else did he tell you?
He starts walking uphill, the way the bus was going.
Please, I need your help.
That my new career?
If you could just get me to a telephone.
Half a year's salary just flew south for the winter. My Jeep would win first prize at a scrap metal convention. And in 5 minutes, everything I got left in the world is going to be soaking wet. So lighten up, lady. I haven't got the time.
He keeps going.
You don't understand. My sister needs me. It's a matter of life and death. If I don't get to her, I'll pay you
How much?
$50.
Ha!
He laughs and he keeps going.
I thought you just lost everything.
Not my sense of humor.
Well, what did you want? I'll give you $100. 200.
I'll do it for 5.
That's ridiculous. I'll give you $250.
Lady, my minimum price for taking stranded women to telephones is $400.
Will you take $375 in traveler's checks?
American Express?
Of course.
Deal.
Cut to exterior, a local police outpost day, sun-baked adobe building, jeeps, horse corrals, a real dump. Police lounging around in the heat. Santos, the jefe, is sitting outside of his office, half asleep until he spots the car coming. The Renault pulls up. Santos lazily steps down, hitching his pants to frighten the driver with his rank, leaning to do just that when, from the other side of the car, Zolo emerges.
Assemble your men.
Santos immediately snaps to attention. Santos screams an order at his men, and they all follow suit. Cut to the interior freighter stateroom. A portable ship-to-shore receiver is handed to Ira. He and Elaine are lunching at a well-laid table. Elaine picks at her food, glancing at the baby alligator by Ira's plate. Jesus, an alligator? Intercut. Interior police outpost, back room. With all the activity going on outside, Zolo urgently conversing with Santos, pointing a lot. Ralph is along, pirating a phone call, backed against a wall, papered with wanted posters. Behind him in a cell, a wild-eyed American begs for help.
Hiya, Mom. It's me, Irving.
Ralph, you little twerp, where are you?
Calm down, Ma, will ya? Who says I never call?
Ralph, will you, for Christ's sake, tell me the story?
The policia have left Ralph alone again now.
As usual, cousin, you've got us in some serious shit. The stupid dame got on the wrong bus, and I'm stuck in some kind of stupid military compound. They're mobilizing for Iwo Jima here.
Do they know who you are?
What do you think? I'm an announcer at Radio City? I'm keeping a low profile.
He crosses himself, raising his eyes to heaven, and freezes. One of the wanted posters is an actual unflattering likeness of his own dear self, just out of reach. He keeps talking, and as in quiet panic, he drags over a chair to climb onto to remove the poster.
And the other little tidbit, Ira, is guess who else is here?
Zolo.
Oh, give this man a cigar. You're goddamn right, Zolo.
Has he got his boys with him?
Not yet. He's making a deal with these local yo-yos.
Ralph, goddammit, I don't care what you do. Just get me that map. Just get it.
Don't yell at me, Ira. I told you this idea sucked from the word go.
He falls off the chair, and Ira hangs up in equal anger, glaring at an anxious Elaine.
Little sister took the wrong road, and that third party I told you about, he's tagging along.
The man who killed my husband?
The butcher who killed your husband, a very powerful man with his own private army to back him up. Whether he calls himself Dr. Zolo, Minister of Antiques, or Colonel Zolo, Deputy Commander of the Secret Police, he's still just a butcher. And right now, Joan Charles is New York sirloin. I sincerely hope that girl learns to get her ass in gear.
Well, Ira, it's antiquities, and I'm very upset that you just stabbed my unfinished steak. So you toss that steak through the porthole, and POV shot. King Croc's enormous jaws catch the meat as he suns himself on a spit of sand in the first weld bog. POV shot. Shit. No, I'm just kidding. I already read that part. Exterior Mountain Road. I roasted Travis, and then I roasted myself. All right. Exterior Mountain Road day. Rain. Joan's suitcase is dragging in the mud. Up ahead, Jack is paused, looking back at her, struggling vainly after him.
You got any valuables in that suitcase?
No, well, my things, my clothes.
You got a raincoat?
No,
How about a comfortable pair of walking shoes?
no, they're all like
Ah.
this.
Okay.
He goes and offers a hand sweetly. She gladly accepts, gives him the suitcase. He promptly walks a couple of steps and flings it the hell away into the underbrush.
Now maybe we can make time together.
Joan is simply astounded. Astounded? Hello. She starts to say something, but whoosh! The ground gives way under her feet and she vanishes, a scream roller coastering out of her mouth. Jack glances over the mountain, chalks the earth beneath him. POV shot, a crack, zigzags around his feet. Back to the scene.
Son of a...
He vanishes too. Earth shoot. Please welcome to the stage, Earth shoot. Like an amusement park ride, Joan flies downward, riding down the landslide, followed by Jack. Joan careens on a curve, Jack behind her, wild. Sledless racers, cut to bottom of a mountain, rain. Joan crashes to a halt, off the main slide, Jack tumbling on top of her. Bear, take a bear.
Woo! This turned out to be one hell of a morning.
Joan is too stunned to speak.
You okay?
She doesn't even hear him. Her coat is in shreds. Her skirt is hanging on by a button. The rain washes through her hair, rinses down her suit.
I said, are you hurt?
Still, she's stunned.
What, did the fall leave you paralyzed from the neck up? Are you hurt? Good.
No!
Then what's your name?
Joan
Joan
Charles.
Charles. Welcome to Columbia.
Cut to the photograph of Jack's dreamboat close up. Now it resembles parchment because, pulling back, the storm is past and Jack takes, as if off the rock of it's been drying. Excuse me. He folds it up secretively, takes his shirt off another rock. Joan is somewhere by herself, crawling around. Jack notices, is concerned. It looks like she might be ill.
What's the matter? Are you sick?
I lost my button.
Oh,
It's the same
is it
thing.
the same thing?
What's the matter? Are you sick still?
Oh, the button for my sleeve. I dropped it.
Not only is the cuff hanging loose without the button, but so is the sleeve itself, torn slightly at the shoulder. Jack goes over and rips the whole thing off.
Problem solved.
He follows that by striding over to where her shoes are drying on a rock, pulling out his machete, taking one of the shoes, when with a lightning swipe whacking off half of its heel. He does the same to its mate.
Those were Italian.
Now they're practical.
Joan stares at them, aghast, holding up her skirt. Now he comes back at her, rips her skirt, intimately ties it sarong style.
Is nothing I own sacred to you?
Only your $375.
He's starting away again. Joan gives him a real bad look behind his back, then spots the button on the ground. Just for the defiant heck of it, she bends to pick it up, and the instant she does, bullets rip into the tree exactly behind the space her head had just filled. Jack dives, flying into, I'm just assuming he
Behind a
covers her.
boulder.
Yeah, behind that damn boulder. You know why? Because he's gonna protect her even though he doesn't like her yet. Jack pelts over its shit, whatever. POV shot. 6 police in Santos are at the edge of the road. Another volley of shots ring out. Back to the scene.
Cops, what the hell do they want? I haven't even done anything lately.
Jack goes for the binoculars in his pack. Jack and Joan.
It's you. Who was tracking you? Who the hell are you?
I'm a romance novelist.
As the police still shoot at them.
What are these guys from the New York Review of Books? What are you doing here?
I told you, my sister's life depends on it.
Don't give me that shit. I thought you were donating a kidney or something.
The guns cease. Jack dares another peek through the binoculars.
Damn.
Skip a page.
Jack and Joan.
Oh, yeah.
Same dialogue. POV shot, Jen?
Oh shit! Does it actually say POV shot? No.
No, page 90. Or, yeah, page
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm sorry, my bad. Oh my god, that's my bad. POV shot. The police are dropping ropes. They're rappelling down the mountain and they are packing rifles and machetes. Santos's cars are left at the top race off along the road. One man in each. Back to the scene. Jesus,
You
sorry.
could try on the shoes now. It'd be a big help.
She does so fast, squeezing off a few rounds. Jack and Joan dash across a clearing into the jungle. Bullets strafing the ground behind them. They cut to the trees, charging through. Branches slap at their faces, snag their clothes as Jack slings his rifle over his shoulder, and he whips out his machete.
Wait!
The deal's off, lady.
Cut to exterior clearing. Zolo, Santos, and four of Santos's men race across the clearing, drawing machetes. Cut to exterior jungle day. Faces scratched, clothes pinned to the skin. Sweat streaks their faces as Jack hacks through the tropic midday furnace. Behind them is the whistling ring of machetes.
You know what I like about you?
What?
Nothing. What did you do? Wake up this morning and say, today I'm going to ruin a man's life?
Joining the ringing machetes, men's voices. They are yelling back and forth. Cut to Jack and Joan running.
I didn't park your Jeep in the middle of the road.
You were bad news coming my way.
He glances back. POV shot. Glints of silver flash through the density. Slicing faster and faster. Back to scene. Jack sweats on.
You know where you're going?
I don't know. It's some kind of trail, isn't it?
Cut to Zolo and company. More machetes to make better time with. Coming on fast. Cut to Jack and Joan. Jack hacks through a thicket. Comes to a sudden halt. Like a crossing guard. Shoots his arm out to stop Joan. She peeks over. Eyes tripling in his. POV shot. Suicide Ridge. The land drops a sheer 70 feet to a wild river below. Back to scene. Jack turns to her.
Lady, you are a jinx.
But there's a bridge.
There is a gnarly growth on all sides a few feet off. A rickety, vine-covered bridge, rotten, broken, boards its walkway.
That's not a bridge. That's pre-Columbian art.
Now he's knelt behind a tree trunk, aiming his rifle at the thrashing thickets back behind the way they've come.
I only wish I knew what I was dying for.
Meanwhile, behind him, Joan takes a first tentative step onto the bridge. The board groans, but it holds.
Why don't we listen to our mothers?
Boards behind Joan drop out. No way back. She can only keep on going, terrified, as the machete glints closer.
Could have been a cosmetic surgeon by now. $500,000 a year, up to my ears and tits and ass.
Joan takes another nervous step.
Playmates coming and going.
Snap! The next board Joan steps on gives way. Jack turns in panic. Joan grabs a vine. With a gasp, she is swung out over the gorge. Jack's POV. Joan spectacularly Tarzans it across the deep gorge to safety on the far cliff, crashing through the wall of vegetation. Back to scene, mouth open. Jack moves towards the bridge, grabs a vine. Pack on. He slings on the rifle, tests the vine. It feels solid. He steps back for the leap. The vine falls, limp in his hands. He groans. The machete's near. Jack grabs another vine. He just takes the leap. Jack flies over the abyss, but his vine's clearly too long. Jack bangs into the wall of rock below the cliff's lip. Ouch. Releasing the vine, Jack scrambles for handholds, toeholds, his rifle slipping off. He looks down. Much later, the rifle clinks on the rocks below.
Joan!
Cut to cliffside, knees scraped, hands burning. Joan is freaked out. Not knowing Jack has followed after her, she duels with the safety cap of a Valium container. Yeah, girl. Come on, self-medicating. As a hand rises over the cliff's edge, claws for ground, a good distance behind her, behind the curtain of vegetation.
Joan!
In another world, she is intent on the cap. Jack's other hand appears, his face distorted with effort. He drags himself up over the rim. Joan turns as Jack breaks through the thickets. He stalks towards her, grabs the container.
Valium! I could have been killed.
A shot zings the ground. Jack dives, Joan after him, into the jungle's cover. Cut to back on the other side of the gorge. Zolo and Santos have come to the bridge. Obviously, no way across it now. Zolo might kill Santos just with his look.
We'll never catch them now. I'll catch them.
Cut to exterior lower riverbank, day, night. Jack looks at this last moment of sun. Joan drags up, collapses. Jack throws down his stuff. She's tugging almost unconsciously at clots of mud in her matted hair. He tosses her a flashlight.
You can wash in the river. It's safe. I'll be upstream.
Cut to exterior, gentle inlet. In the eerie twilight, Joan removes her skirt. The river glimmers, leaving blouse, panties, and shoes on. Joan enters the water cautiously at first, but then finally lets it all go. She leans back, lets the river rinse her hair. At last, a moment's peace. Until she feels a presence, turns, Jack, crouching on the bank right behind her. She sinks lower in the river.
You said you'd be upstream.
In that water, you gotta be kidding. I wouldn't bathe in that water if you paid me.
She doesn't think this is funny.
Do you mind if I get out now?
Tell me about your sister.
I don't think I'm alone in here.
Tell me about her.
I did. What more do you want?
I'd like to know what I've gotten into.
The deal you made was to get me to a phone. That's as far as it goes.
What kind of trouble is she in?
Her husband died. I've come to comfort her.
Expect me to believe that?
It's the truth.
Jack stares hard, weighing the words.
Okay, we'll keep on.
He turns away. She can't wait to get out of the water.
Don't turn around!
He stops, obeys. She gets out quickly, and he turns around. She grabs up the clothes she left on the bank, walks stiffly to dress behind a tree, too narrow for the purpose.
How far is Cartagena?
While she dresses, Jack undresses, eyeing what he can see of her striptease. You slut.
250 to 300 miles.
We're really in the middle of nowhere.
That's right.
He lies back happily on the bedroll he's laid under a sheet of plastic stretched between the two trees. One bedroll. And that she peeks at anxiously.
This isn't about sex. It's about things that crawl in the night.
Actually, I'm not really that tired. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, real strange.
She reattaches her skirt, having to bend beyond the thin tree to accomplish this. Emerging again, she continues to ponder this sleeping arrangements. He moves over to make room for her. She pretends not to notice, looks around instead.
I think I'll just,
She positions herself awkwardly on a big rock, tucking her feet under her, perched off the ground.
I'll be fine right here. This is comfortable.
Jack's seen beds of nails that looked more comfortable. He shrugs, turns over. He looks comfortable lying there, and she knows it as she stares at him, then looks around some more, shivering in the night air. A strange screech in the jungle makes her turn that way, and wha! Some horrible beetle drops on her from a branch above her. She jumps off the rock, shoots the hell into the little tent beside Jack. After a moment, she calms down. She feels better, except for the way she's treated Jack.
I know I haven't been very helpful.
She hears the lightest snore. Cut to exterior jungle, bedroll tent, night. Joan wakes with a start when Jack's arm falls over her breast. Jack rolls over, face cuddled to her neck. She navigates a turn, eyes him. He seems asleep. A twig snaps nearby. Joan glances off screen. Joan's POV. Lights flicker and dance within the trees. The police are close. A hand. The hand. Jack's hand. It slides over Joan's mouth. Her eyes find his. He is wide awake. More things crack in the dark. Jack quietly reaches for his machete. A strong flashlight beam seeks its prey, moving towards this tent. It misses the foot of the bedroll by inches. Jack's head, by a crosshair, moves on. Zolo coughs. Jack finally exhales, takes his hand off of her mouth. looks at her. She buries her head in his chest. He keeps listening to the night. Cut to exterior jungle. Zolo keeps going with Santos and his men until Santos trips over something and falls to his knees at Zolo's feet.
It's hopeless. We've lost them. Give me the radio.
Cut to exterior police outpost night. Santos and his men returning to their base with Zolo. They look tired. They look humiliated. But now they all start to look up. Something waiting for them ahead. Something more humiliating still. Zolo's personal death squad. Jesus, lit by the glow of an oil drum fire as they stand stoically around. 6 of Colombia's elite forces, hard, stone-eyed faces, in crisp uniforms, packing automatic weapons. Zolo arrives with Santos and his bunch, whose mouths are all drooping. One of Zolo's soldiers steps forward, salutes, stiffly hands Zolo his own crack uniform in its plastic dry cleaning bag. Cut to interior police outpost back room. Santos makes notes in a little book. One of his men making coffee in a pot-bellied stove. Zolo appears, framed intensely in the doorway with his full regalia. He stops in. 2 of his soldiers behind him. He takes a notebook from Santos, tosses it into the stove.
You will make no report. But I always...
Zolo grabs his wrist so he can't take his hand out of the stove, holding it into the fire. Santos's man raises his rifle, but faster than a blink, Zolo's soldiers have automatic weapons pointed at him. Machismo, meanwhile, he has prevented Santos from crying out.
No report will be filed. Comprende? Sí, comprendo. Gracias. You see, this is a personal matter, not official business. You and your men will forget this day. See, it is already forgotten.
He stares at his scorched hand, fighting back the pain. Also, yes, bitch, you're working it. Zolo throws a brotherly arm around his shoulders.
This is fortunate, since I know where your children sleep.
Cut to exterior mountain road, dawn. The Renaulta's at roadside. Ralph is asleep in the back, Joan's book spread out on his chest. Suddenly, a roar of jeeps. Ralph wakes up violently, banging his head. He tumbles out of the car, hurting himself again. He crouches low as the jeeps roll by, terrified to see Zolo at the head of the column, sitting there like Patton, not to mention his awesome men. When they're out of sight, Ralph hurries back into his car, starts it after the jeep's dust. Cut to exterior Riverside clearing, daybreak. A zipper mark engraved on her cheek. Joan opens sleep-wrecked eyes, blinking to focus. Jack's gone. Her purse is gone. She jumps up like a shot, panicked, all alone. Joan rushes through the jungle, turning around some trees, and there he is, perusing a map a short distance off, and the contents of Joan's purse are scattered about.
Put that down. Give me that. You've no right.
Jack jerks it away, sidesteps her lunges.
Give it to me, goddamn you. Give it.
What is it?
It's mine.
El Corazon.
I don't know what it is.
Breaking down, Joan crumples to her knees, starts slowly gathering her things.
Someone's kidnapped my sister. If I deliver the map, then she goes free. Sorry, that's all I know.
Ransom. They're holding your sister for ransom for El Corazon.
He hands the map back. Map back. Anyway, done. She returns it to her purse. He crouches down, helps her put her things back.
Why didn't you tell me that?
I didn't think I could trust you.
I nearly died back there for your sister. Anywhere back there. Pick a place.
I was told to tell no one, all right?
Fine. But if we're talking ransom, what's with all the cops?
I only know what I'm supposed to be there already. The Hotel Emporio in Cartagena. Maybe they've killed her.
Don't worry about that. As long as you've got the map to El Corazon, your sister's going to be just fine. You'll come through for her, Joan Charles.
Do you know what this is, El Corazon is?
I haven't got a clue.
He goes back to gather his own gear, looks longingly once more at the picture of his dreamboat. Cut to exterior jungle day. Inching forward, Jack clears a path. Joan's hair is wilder now, curling. She is edgy. Jack is getting fired up.
You know, that map you've got there refers to Santa Maria Province.
So?
So we're walking through it. Doesn't that twist of fate intrigue you?
No?
Well, aren't you the least bit curious? You got this old map. What do old maps lead to?
I don't care.
Treasure. They lead to treasure. El Corazon, that's Spanish for the heart. Your map leads to the heart. But the heart of what? Heart of hearts, heart of stone, heart of gold?
You don't even know what it is.
Well, shit, it must be valuable. We've got half of Colombia chasing after us.
You're damn right it's valuable. You said this map is my sister's life.
What I meant was, whatever's at the end of this map is your sister's life.
You couldn't care less about my sister. All you're after is a quick buck, some bird napper bumming his way through the jungle, taking money from women in distress.
Hold it right there. I'm out here busting my ass keeping you alive so you can rescue this sister I never even met. You didn't tell me jack shit about cops or bullets or your raving tranquilizer addiction. And you know what really burns my ass? In all this time, you haven't even asked me my name.
She stands there. She knows she's an ass.
What is your name?
Jack Colton. And you'll get no apologies from me.
Cut to exterior jungle, late afternoon, rain. Clearing the path, Jack works like a maniac. He takes a final whack and he drops.
We're stopping?
With a long-suffering look, Jack hurls the machete, which embeds in the banana tree near Joan.
Be my guest.
Challenged, Joan grasps the machete's handle. First attempts are clumsy, but then she gets the rhythm. Graceful her body. Yeah, girl. Do what you want with my body. Then he hears a noise in the jungle. He turns. She heard it too. And stops in mid-machete swipe. Turns.
What is it?
Nothing.
She turns, completes her swipe. Cut to POV shot. A man's head. Mostly defleshed. Back to scene. Joan shrieks, jumps back. Thank you, Joan. Drops the machete. Jack flashes over, cautiously pulls aside foliage. He starts too, and instinctively grips her shoulder to comfort her. POV shot. A skeleton protrudes from the cockpit of a crashed D-3 ensnarled in Tangle. Another skeleton is strapped inside, still in aviator shades, shreds of an Aloha shirt. Back to scene, Joan and Jack creep along the grown-over fuselage. Fuselage? Damn it, Jen. Jack goes through a gaping hole into the fuselage. Joan doesn't.
Is there anybody else?
No, it's a cargo plane.
Cut to interior fuselage. Jack surveys the freight. Mysterious gauze-covered bales are stacked everywhere.
Now this sure looks like a place to get away from it all.
Jack slips off his pack, exhausted. Joan perches on a bale, slides off her purse, eerily eyeing the cargo.
What is all this?
All this? 5 to life. Where's the machete?
I dropped it over there.
You dropped it, you get it. And while you're at it, see if you can rustle up some bananas.
When she exits, Jack spies her purse nearby, immediately takes out the map. Close on the map. Several landmarks. One a drawing of Satan with pitchfork at a crossroads. A Spanish phrase. Angel on Jack. Angel, Jesus. All right, come on. She's watched too many episodes of Supernatural lately. Thanks, quarantine. Repeating phrase.
Tenedor del Diablo. Devil's Fork.
Checking over his shoulder, he hears her coming back like a flash, puts the map back in her purse, leans back against the bale, closes his eyes in an expression of utter innocence. A shadow falls over him. He looks up. His POV. Joan stands above him, machete poised over her head, holding a bunch of bananas. Angle on Jack and Joan. Instantly, the blade falls, nearly skinning his ears to lop off the head of a snake. Beat. Jack swallows. Glad he's still got a neck to do it with. He gives Joan a rather amazed and unsure look. Joan is surprised by her own boldness, perhaps even vaguely proud. Still recovering, Jack picks up the snake, throws Joan another look.
Snake burgers coming up.
Exterior DC3 night. Now we know what that was, the thing I was missing before. A soft rain falling, smoke rising, a warm glow of firelight flickering through the fuselage windows. Cut to interior fuselage night. Close up of skinned snake meat on skewers, roasting over the fire. They exit shot as Jack places another grass brick atop the campfire where others are stacked like logs. The air is thick, layered with smoke. I'm not looking up at the chat. He's cooking the snake that Joan killed earlier.
Now that's what I call a campfire.
It's smoky, don't you
Jack
think?
takes a deep breath. He holds it because it's smoky as shit.
Yeah, that's how I like them. That's how I like them.
He exhales, pops a snake chunk. Joan's actually a little high herself. She takes a bite of snake too.
Boy, this is great. Really good.
He's watching her reach for another piece, and as she knocks it back, she looks at him. Having avoided meeting his eyes in quite this dead-on way the entire journey, he's rather off-put.
I've always admired people like you.
Bird nappers?
No, I mean, who do what you do.
Take money from women in distress?
I'm sorry I said those things.
What is it you think I do?
Lead a life of adventure? Probably danger.
You've got it. Let me tell you about the dangers of bird wrangling. Those cockatoos are a bitch.
Gosh, but living off the land, don't have to answer to anyone. Going down your own road. You're one of the last of your kind.
Yeah, don't make them like me anymore.
But what's the downside, Jack Colton?
Can't think of a thing.
Gets kind of lonely, doesn't it?
She's got his number, and her insight leaves him silent. Their eyes lock.
I guess I better throw another key on the fire.
What were you before you came down here?
What do you think?
Ski bum.
Jack tries to regain some composure.
Ski instructor.
Somewhere out west.
Colorado.
What'd you do when the snow melted?
I sold real estate. Boy, you got a way of reducing 36 years to the lowest common denominator.
Joan goes over and gives him a kiss on the cheek.
Jack Colton, thank you for everything. And the snake was delicious.
Joan turns and makes her bed among the bales of contraband. And then Jack Colton watches Joan Charles in a brand new light. Cut to rolling hills morning, long clear of the jungle. Jack and Joan mount a rise, both seeming a little hazy from last night.
Hear bells.
You'll hear more than that. Keep rolling those kind of campfires.
No, listen.
She cocks an ear. On the wild, a faint sound, hundreds of tinkling bells. They hurry over a small rise, see a small town snuggled in the hills above.
Look, Jack, civilization.
Maybe.
Maybe they'll have a phone.
Might.
Or a car.
Could be.
And breakfast.
Let's not get too carried away here.
Cut to exterior hillside cemetery, morning. Jack and Joan wind through the graveyard. Near each headstone is a wooden cross, bells tied to it, tinkling in the breeze. Jack glances at a marker. It reads, Gringo. He hurries up. Cut to exterior high ridge. One of Zolo's elite holds the binoculars. He speaks some Spanish. The driver starts the Jeep. Cut to the village of Bells, morning. Clinging to a borderline existence. Narrow dirt streets separate stucco buildings, scarred by neglect. No cars, no phone booths, only small clusters of men lurking at doorways all up the street, a few horses. Jack and Joan walk into town, up Main Street. Jack looking real leery. Joan clutches her purse tightly. She smiles at a man and his expression remains unchanged.
Friendly, aren't they?
Drug runners, just try to look mean
She tries.
and keep quiet.
They move up the street, and Jack, sensing something over his shoulder, glances back, sees one bad hombre trailing them. Cut to deeper into the village. Jack looks over his shoulder again. Now there are two bad hombres drifting over them. A little further, he checks again. Four bad hombres. Cut to deeper into the village. Jack glances over his shoulder. 6 bad hombres. Oh my God. Now Joan stops, turns around as if she'd known the bad hombres had been here all along, and she appeals loudly to them.
We're just looking for a car.
Well, dead silence. Then the lead bad hombre steps forward menacingly.
Only one car in village. Juan the Bell Maker.
Jack and Joan look up the hill, and at the building being pointed out. Cut to exterior abandoned church. Clay molds for the casting of bronze church bells cracked, decaying like the town. Sprout and rows outside the church. Jack is more edgy than before, and for once, he's trying to keep up with Joan. The path, a rough one.
Will you calm down?
I've heard about this guy. He's bad.
The Bellmaker?
Whatever you do, don't tell him what we used for campfire fuel last night.
Huh?
The plane we slept in, I think that's probably one of his lost shipments.
I mean, he's a...
Just don't say it out loud. Just back off. I'll take care of this.
They round a corner, head for a ramshackle settlement. Sheds, house, unmended fences. It's real cruddy. They walk to the front door, such as it is. A real pea patch, it's only improvement. Jack knocks. Hatch opens.
Buenos dias.
What do you want, gringo?
We heard you had a car. We'd like to rent it or buy it. We have to get to a town or something.
What do you call this? I'm living in a pigsty?
No, all I meant,
Hit the road.
look,
Hit the road.
we just,
A Colt Navy 45 6-shooter muzzle appears in the pea patch. It cocks.
Via con Dios, gringo.
okay, be cool, we're going.
He glances at Joan. She's looking back the way they've come.
Oh, Jesus.
The bad hombres. They're coming this way.
Right inside of this one, Joan Charles.
Joan Charles? Joan Charles?
The door creeps open.
The Joan Charles?
Jack and Joan stare at Juan. 30-ish, aloha shirt, shades. Very, very casual, but he's no fool.
You are Joan Charles the novelist?
Well, yes, I am.
I read all your books. I love your books. Come in. The greatest novelist. Will you get the door, please?
Suddenly, Joan's the mover and Jack's the follower. He's not thrilled, but as Juan ushers Joan inside, Jack goes quickly after them, escaping the approaching hombres, dispersing them by slamming the door. Cut to interior Juan's house, a real pad. Thick cushions, mood lighting, very westernized, stereos, gadgetry, Remington paintings, sculpture, bookcases, lava lamps. Lava lamps? Jack and Joan enter gaping.
Ever read The Return of Angelina? That woman, she makes me hungry.
No, I never turned that page.
Never. Here, I read it. Take it.
Jack glances at the cover art. A woman in a wanton pose. Ooh, Indian gypsy dress slipping off her shoulder. He flips it over, sees Joan's photograph as Juan points out his collection to Joan. Jack is stunned. She wrote this book? She wrote all those others over there. She's someone, and he thinks she is great.
The Revengers, Wicked, Loving Kisses. I'm waiting for Angelina, Savage Secret. And now you are here in Colombia. You want a drink? I got Jim Beam. Really? Here, Jack
Whoa.
Daniels. Anything you drink. What do you want, Joan Charles? Want to take a jacuzzi, play some music?
He turns on some music.
Actually, I'd like to make a phone call.
No phones, no phones. I hate phones. Don't believe in them. Hate them, hate them. Have a drink. Let's hang out. Look, I got Southern Comfort. I got Stoli Dolies. I got Michelob.
Michelob?
That's so many. As a bartender, I just am very offended by your entire bar set, sir. Juan.
Well,
Joan sets her purse down on a table and Jack eyes it.
I got Heineken.
You got a Xerox machine?
Probably.
Joan doesn't appreciate that at all and picks up her purse again.
Yes, but she's broken.
Juan, where is there a phone?
Many miles from here.
Could you take us in your car?
Who told you I had a car?
The men in the village.
They said I had a car. Oh man, they are comedians. They meant my little mule.
Jack, mid gulps, shares a look with Joan. Cut to exterior village of Bells. At the end of the deserted street, Zolo's 2 special jeeps roll into town. 4 men of Joan Zolo's death squad all carry assault rifles. The jeep stops at the cantina. A senora sitting on the stoop. Zolo and 2 men, they jump down. Zolo glances through the cantina door, empty. Zolo, you are muted.
Gringos, Americanos.
The senora shakes her head. Zolo yanks her to her feet, throws her inside the cantina, follows. After a few moments of dead silence, he re-emerges, closing his stiletto.
The bell makers.
Unseen by Zolo, a small boy darts out of the cantina and runs off along the street towards Juan's. Cut to exterior Juan's house. Jeep pulling up. Zolo and his men take positions, move toward Juan's compound. Blam! A vehicle blasts through the shed's rickety doors, nearly flattening Zolo and the soldiers. A supercharged Bronco. Come on, OJ. Done up Western style, the little mule emblazoned on its side. Does an incredible wheelie up the street as soldiers scramble up to their jeep, shooting as they go. Cut to the Bronco, blasting down the street. Disappears around the corner. Cut to around the corner, straight ahead. A big puddle with a pig nesting in it. Oh no, piggy, babe. That'll do. Interior Bronco. Juan, Jack, and Joan. They're cramped in the front. Juan in racing gloves. Screech! He's slamming the brakes. The Bronco shifts to a halt just a half an inch from the whatever.
Gulch.
Do we have to stop just now?
Can't splash mud on my little mule. I just washed it.
Starts reversing. Cut to Zolo's jeeps. They're racing down the street, headed for the same corner. Cut to around the corner. The Bronco is coming back the way it came. The intersection. Everyone meets. A conflagration of dust and cars. The Bronco turning a circle one way, the Jeeps the other way. A 30 cal Jeep gunner swinging out on his gun. Another Jeep crashing into the fence. Zolo screaming orders. The Bronco shooting past the intersection. Away down the clear street again. Cut to interior Bronco. Juan is in his element. Pops in a cassette. And he turns to Joan, much to her and Jack's dismay.
The music of Angelina.
Cut to Zolo's Jeeps. Zolo getting them organized in the right direction again. Then they continue the chase. Interior Bronco. Roaring to the edge of town, Juan turns onto a dirt road as gunfire blasts past. Jeeps on their tail.
Look over there. See over by the...
Jack and Joan exchange a look as the gunfire continues.
And see the third tree up that ridge? My brother planted that tree.
What?
This guy's crazier than I am.
Oh, gracias. Yeah, that's Lupe's Ridge. And right now, we coming to Lupe's Long Walk.
The Bronco is airborne, flying off a crest. Whee! Juan covering his eyes. Exterior Bronco slamming down onto an open terrain. It careens into a thicket of trees, suddenly veers off back into the open. Cut to Interior Bronco.
That was cover, those trees.
I wanted to show you this field. Here in 1850, my ancestors fought the Paragushis, yeah, and won the right to irrigate.
A bullet zings the metal.
That's great, Juan.
And zoom! Now the Bronco blasts into a cornfield, thrashing along the row of stalks. Cut to Zolo's Jeep's flying over the crest. Cut to Interior Bronco whipping through the field. Juan suddenly shoots an arm out of the window, rips out a plant in passing, a 6-inch, juicy, ripe marijuana plant. Come on, baby.
Bueno, my crop is nearly ready.
Jack does a double take, grabs the plant for a closer inspection, and checks out the window again.
This is a cornfield.
I'm glad you think so.
It cut to Exterior Bronco as it rockets down the row, marijuana growing on the inside. Below the level of corn all the way along. Cut to the chasing Jeeps coming through the field now too. Zolo and his men sniffing the air suspiciously. It doesn't smell like a cornfield, ought to. Cut to Exterior sloping hill. The Bronco jumps out of the field, bombs up over the hill, crashing down on the other side. Cut to Zolo's Jeep right behind. Cut to Interior Bronco. Juan shakes his head.
This guy who's following you, he's very persistent.
Cut to Exterior Bronco flat out. The Bronco streaks across a broad. Hello, not a board. Broad, parched flat. A rooster tail of dust spraying up behind it. Interior Bronco dead ahead. A river.
See that river?
One without the bridge?
245 tributaries.
What do you mean, the one without the bridge?
It feeds into the Amazon.
The one without the bridge.
The Bronco accelerates, engine screaming.
This river is the main water supply for many villages.
The Bronco quickly nears the riverbank.
Juan, where the hell are you going?
Lupe's Escape, I used it many times in the past.
He produces a small electronic box similar to a garage door opener and points it straight ahead. Cut to riverbank breaking out of the shrubbery camouflage. A narrow steel ramp rises out of the riverbank. Giant hydraulic lifters grinding it upwards. Cut to Exterior Bronco. It speeds to the river. The ramp not available, yet visible, or at all. Interior Bronco. Joan clutching Jack's arm, both anticipating a crash. Jack casually pointing off screen. Exterior riverbank. The ramp appears at the last moment. The Bronco roars up it. Across 3/4 of the river, leaps the remaining gap. Cut to Interior Bronco as they land, glancing back. Cut to a Zolo Jeep. The determined driver downshifts.
Hang on.
He floors the pedal. Cut to Interior Bronco. Juan hits his electronic gadget back over his shoulder, presses its red button. Cut to Exterior River. The end half of the ramp flips up like a lip. The first Jeep on its way, banging into the metal wall. POV shot. 4 soldiers fly over the top of the lip, free fall to the water below. Cut to Interior Bronco.
Yeah, Lupe was one time with the Army Corps of Engineers, some kind of guy.
Joan laughs, relieved, exhilarated. She turns to Jack, gives him a big hug and a kiss. It's hard to tell who's the more thrilled. Cut to Exterior River. Zolo's Jeep screeches to a stop. Zolo's standing in his seat. POV shot, the vanishing rooster tail of the Bronco. Zolo looks at his men, disgusted once again. Exterior roadside dusk, outskirts of Fiesta Town. Come on, party town. Joan is still high from the chase. She can't wind down, balancing along the edge of the road, smelling a flower, feeling the wind on her face, leaning into it. And Jack just watches her, then looks down at her book that he's kept with him, then looks at her again. Torn clothes, rumpled, flowered hair, flowing, flowered hair. You've got a flower in it, I'm assuming. She's quite something.
You're okay now? You need a little mule to use Lupe's Escape? That river can be crossed for 200 miles in either direction. In fact, over that mountain, the river becomes wild. Mu Pellegroso, waterfalls, rapids, Angelina country, right, Joan?
Whatever happened to Lupe?
Juan is revealed behind a tree on the other side of the Bronco, relieving himself. It's a dead tree. 3 upper limbs tine-like, in the shape of Satan's spear.
A terrible disappointment to family.
And Jack glances over there, and Jesus! It hits him. Almost drops the book. That tree formation.
I can imagine.
He entered the priesthood.
He comes back up to them, zipping up, as Jack moves forward, just staring at the tree.
I take over the business is for the best. I'm not so reckless. He might have ended up hanging from Tenedor del Diablo, like used to happen at Bambitos.
Jack quickly look over at Joan. Now she's come over, looking at the tree.
Tenedor del Diablos?
Jack breaks out in a cold sweat, but...
Mm.
And she turns away again. She didn't make the connection.
I'm sorry, I can't take you all the way to Cartagena. Did I say it? Did I get it?
Cartagena!
Cartagena, yeah, thank you, voice. See, the trees talk. I'm sorry, I cannot take you all the way to Cartagena. Beyond this town, I am a wanted man for not
We're
getting
moving
that
back
name
to the
right.
car now, damn it. Damn it, Travis. They're moving
Travis?
back to the car now.
Yeah, I'm not one.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, wait, no, I'm not.
yeah, you are.
No, I am? No, I'm not.
You
Oh, yeah, I am one. I am one. See, the trees do stuff. But in the morning, there is always a bus. It'll take you.
Damn it, Jack. Well, shit. Last in, he has one more parting look at the tree before following Joan's purse into the Bronco. Cut 2, exterior of the Bronco. Seen through the pronged branches of the tree, zooming away towards the twinkling lights of Fiesta Town to Party Town. Cut 2, interior freighter stateroom. Ira, guess what, Travis? That's you.
Yes.
Freighter station. He's on the phone again. Elaine is in the background, waiting, sitting on a cot, handcuffed to a rail, anxiously waiting for the outcome of his call.
Ralph, of all the things you could say to me right now, I've lost her. Is what's going to get the most teeth broken in your mouth?
Cut 2, interior phone booth in Party Town. Ralph here, the phone booth just outside of the hotel.
Let me tell you something, Ira. I don't like you. I never liked you. I don't like the way you think. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like the way you comb your hair either side of that silver bullet head of yours. And one more thing, Ira.
He sees Jack and Joan step out of the ridiculous Bronco on the other side of the plaza.
You are the luckiest bastard that ever walked the face of the earth.
Cut 2, interior freighter stateroom. Elaine perks an ear.
There?
Damn it, Ira.
Hey, I'm here. She's there. She's right there. She probably wants to call. Ask her if you can hold her handbag.
Cut 2, interior phone booth. Ralph peeks over his shoulder. The Bronco zooms away.
She's with some guy. How the hell do I know? She likes guys, okay? So do you.
Cut 2, interior freighter stateroom.
All right, just knock off the pathetic attempts at humor, Ralph, and get me that map tonight. No more screw-ups. I don't care what you have to do. Just get the map. You hear me? Tell me you hear me, Ralph.
Cut 2, Joan and Jack. She's heading straight for the phone booth outside the hotel. Hotel? Damn it. Hotel. Yeah, damn it, Jen. Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
See?
Fair, Travis.
1 and 1.
Yep. But all she can do when she gets there is hang on about anxiously, waiting for the person inside with his back to her to vacate. Jack snatches a glance at her purse before she turns back at him, looks back at him.
I don't know what I'm going to do now if this bus isn't here tomorrow morning.
It'll be all right. I told you.
Oh, shit.
I guess I owe you.
She looks at him. They don't quite know what to say to each other. I'm sorry, my bad. Travis just.
I guess I owe you some money. $375.
That was the contract, right?
Oh, yeah.
She stares at the traveler's checks as if they're suddenly divorce papers. Clearly too nervous to sign them right now, her pen hovers indecisively.
Well, why don't you just make your call? I can wait for my autographs.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I'll get you a room to clean up in.
Joan watches Jack going into the hotel so she doesn't notice Ralph covertly shuffle out of the phone booth. When she looks there, it's empty, so she goes to it. Cut to interior front hotel desk, or hotel front desk. Jack taps the bell. The clerk smiles indulgently.
Buenas tardes, señor. ¿Tiene un cuarto para noche con baño?
I have nothing but vacancies. It's fiesta. No one sleeps tonight.
Jack leans forward confidentially.
You got a Xerox machine in this town?
The clerk points to one, in a corner. Jack stares at it for a while.
Looks kind of small. You think it takes like map size?
Cut to exterior hotel. In the shadows, Ralph watches Joan, illuminated in the phone booth, wonders how he can get that damn purse. Jack comes back out of the hotel, meets Joan just out of the booth, finishing signing his checks.
I spoke to Elaine. She's all right. They'll wait for me to take the bus tomorrow.
Then slide, you're covered.
I don't know. He sounded so secure, letting me stay here tonight.
Whoa.
The bastard who's got Elaine. Before he let me talk to her, he gloated. He reveled in it.
Sure, you're bringing him the map. It's what he wants.
Yes, but what about that psycho cop who's after us? I'm still worried about him.
Now I figure he's some private operator, and we lost him. You heard Juan. You can't cross that river for 200 miles in either direction.
Jen.
Aw, shit. See, I was just literally getting so excited about George complimenting me. Well, he tucks a strand of his hair behind, or her hair, behind his, or, well, shit. Whoo! Rewind and go back. He tucks a strand of her hair behind her ear, and before he can take his hand away, he takes a hold of it. She does take a hold of it. She takes a hold of George's hair because it's beautiful.
At least let me buy you dinner?
Pressing the checks warmly into his hand.
Yeah, okay, sure. You go on up, take a hot bath. I'll go find us some clean rags. We're at number 7.
We're in number 7?
Sorry, Joan, I did my best, but it's fiesta night. We barely got the last room.
7's my lucky number.
Cut to across the street. Ralph watches the hotel, biding his time, waiting for nightfall. Cut to interior hotel bathroom night. Steamy. Joan steps from the bath, relaxed, wet. Girl, giggity. And beautiful. She towel dries her hair, wraps on another, peeks into the bedroom. Her eyes widen. An exquisite gypsy Indian dress is laid on the bed, similar to the Angelina cover art. New shoes near it. Touched. Joan holds the dress up to herself, returns to the bathroom mirror. The steam is beginning to dissipate. The dress, the tangled hair. Joan's reflection is dreamlike, spellbound. Joan wipes a section of the mirror. Yeah, girl, you get it. You feel yourself. A smile playing at her mouth. She throws her head back with a soundless laugh of recognition. Cut to interior barbershop night. Back to the mirror. Jack pays the bill, then turns full face to set on a new Panama. Clean shaven. Jesus, Jen. Newly shorn, new shirt, white pants. The man is duded out and looking terrific. And he gives the Panama the slightest tilt. Cut to interior hotel lobby night. Joan descends the stairs in the Angelina dress. Shiny, soft hair. She's better than the cover art. She's a little shy. She's a little self-conscious, but she is a dazzler. Yes, bitch. Jack is enraptured. And as she is enraptured at the sight of him, she arrives at him and she nods her approval.
Joan Charles Wilder, may I have the honor?
She takes the arm. They float out. Cut to interior restaurant night. Dense foliage, candlelight, linen. Romance on $15 a day. Oh, come on, minimum wage. Tourists swell off. Locals. A combo serenades a party of 12. Eyes shining, Joan wields a glass of chica. Jack on the same flight. A waiter clears their dinner plates. Joan's book is left on the table between them.
No, I mean it. I'm impressed. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
I'm not embarrassed. As a matter of fact, I really like Angelina.
So do I.
You haven't even read my book.
That's right.
Joan watches the serenade. The men and women dressed in fine, old-style clothes, raising their glasses of wine. It's a tableau from an older tradition. Something older and easier, a better tradition.
I suppose it's my way of living in another age.
I'd miss you.
She laughs, embarrassed.
And you just live for the moment.
What else is there? Especially when you get moments like this.
There's the future.
There's only now.
Come on, Jack. I'll drink to the moment if you drink to the future.
He raises his glass, clinks it against hers. They drink, looking at each other. The serenade, their soundtrack. There's only us. Anyway, then suddenly a hot salsa band starts up outside, distracting them. Jack digs into his pockets, calls over the music.
I got you a little something.
He drops a tangled fistful of trinkets and charms on the table.
What can I tell you? They all had sick mothers.
You're a softer touch than I thought. El corazón? I guess the heart is where you find it.
Where is your necklace, Anne? This is a perfect chance for it. He takes her hand standing. There it is.
No, Jack, I can't dance.
Seriously. He's pulling her away from the table, where she left her purse hanging down from her chair. Interior, under the table. Under the table. A long corridor is walled by linen tablecloths. And now at the other end, Ralph. As Ralph moves towards the purse, under the table adventures unfold. A wad of money passes from hand to hand. A woman rubs a man's thighs. Ooh, a man's thighs. I'm sorry, mean. A wad of gum is secured under table side. Oof. Shoes are kicked off. Camera wavers because that is unspeakable. A hand slides under a boot dagger. Halfway out, eases it back. A child's hand creeps down his leg and unleashes a cargo of vegetables at Ralph's face. Cut two. Hundreds of couples dancing in the square. Jack taking a reluctant Joan into the midst of all the noise and movement. Interior, under the table. Under the table. Under the table. Ralph creeps up toward the purse. The buckle of his shoe snags on a long dress hem, and then the fabric is pulled along with him. Exterior, town plaza. Jack downshifts into salsa rhythms. Joan is awkward, I'm guessing. She tries a few moves, then she improves. Jack is bumping it. Yeah, coaxing her along. As a band member hands him the bottle, he chugs, hands it to Joan as more people surge into the square, chanting, clapping, all moving to the rhythm. Cut two, interior at the dinner table. Diners are spellbound. Oh my God. One man dribbling his wine, all staring, off screen. POV shot, a hefty senora. The elastic bodice of her dress inches lower, little by little. The jersey stretch fabric is straining. It's being pulled down. Oh no, babe. No. From under the table. Only inches from Joan's purse. Ralph's shoe buckle strains from the hem. He reaches for the purse, making one more move. At the table, as a man gapes, a woman gasps. The senora checks her bosom, and the bodice is about to go. She sees the strange fabric pulled under the table. With horror, she yanks back her dress under the table. A foot pulled back from under him. Ralph crashes to his elbows. He is dragged backwards. The hefty senora. The senora reels in her dress, pulling Ralph's leg with it. A leg in her lap, where the senora jumps up, upsetting the table. It shrieks. The maitre d' hurries over and drags Ralph out. Ralph, being forcefully ejected, gives the maitre d' an Underhanded punch to the stomach. The maitre d', damn it, picks Ralph up by the seat of his pants. Yes, bitch. Carries him out of a door into the alley. Begins beating the living shit out of him. Fuck yeah, you better do it, baby. Cut to exterior town plaza. Jack and Joan are dancing up a storm. Joan is now really getting into it. As the hot music builds to a crescendo, fireworks, as if on cue, they are left behind them. Excuse me, burping. Suddenly, it's a cloudburst. Dancers, patrons, scatter with good-natured squeals. The plaza empties, but for Jack and Joan still dancing and the salsa band still playing on. After several beats, Jack pulls Joan to him. The band plays. The rain beats down, and Jack kisses Joan long and hard, just like it's fucking Spider-Man. The kiss as hot as steam would claim. Oh, as it would steam clams. Oh, wow, that is descriptive. Cut to interior hotel room 9. The town plaza is seen through the window, late, empty, one or two drunks staggering around. Camera moves to the bed, hair matted to foreheads. Ooh, a drop of sweat passes from brow to cheek, male to female. Rolls down Joan's cheek. Jack is over her, the room lit by candles. Come on, romantic. He's playing with her hand.
Whoa. You know, I met a reformed cannibal one time. He told me the palm was the tastiest part of the human body, but I like to discover things for myself. Smooth, sleek, graceful, just like my lady.
What lady?
Of course, she's a bit faster than you are and sleeps more. She sleeps 6. You only sleep 1.
Rather than tease her anymore, he reaches down to take the picture of his dreamboat from his pocket at the side of the bed. He shows it to her.
Someday, if I had the money.
Jack, maybe this is someday. I want to do it. Let's go for El Corazon. Listen, you said it. If I was just waltzed into Cartagena and hand over the map, are they going to let it go at that? I won't give them the satisfaction.
Yeah, but what about your sister? You thought it might be best to just take care of her.
It might be best if I had more than just a map. If I had the treasure.
You don't know if it's treasure or what.
I thought that's what all maps lead to. I want to see you on that boat.
It's a big province. I don't know.
You damn well do. And that tree we stopped at with Juan today, it was the Devil's Fork, my friend.
Pause. She's got him.
Oh, yeah.
She nods, smiling, caresses him.
I'm here for your moment. You gonna be there for my future?
Well, maybe you do have a shot at making me an honest man.
As he rolls onto her again, and while he keeps her occupied, yeah, baby. Come on, get him, George. His free hand reaches down to his pack. Takes out the map and puts it back in her purse, then comes back up to caress her. Camera moving back to window as the bed springs squeak. Cut to exterior back street outside. Ralph, bandaged, stunned, staggers back to his Renault and falls into it. Cut to exterior town, dawn. The streets are littered with bottles, wilted flowers, a party dress, a drunken body draped over a tree limb, sloth-like. Zolo's jeep rolls into town. Zolo looks dejected, but not so much as to look weak to his men.
Respectfully, sir, you did the best you could.
Not finished yet. Send for the reserves.
But, sir,
Send for them.
Cut
Spanish.
to exterior. Yeah, you tell him. You tell them, Zolo. Cut to exterior the Hotel Dawn. Zolo's jeep pulls up. Zolo and his men warily drag themselves inside. Cut to exterior hotel corridor. His men entering the rooms behind him. Zolo, maintaining his stiff upper lip, trucks up the hill to the hall up to adjacent doors. He moves the key to unlock number 7, almost inserts it, rechecks the key number. He takes a side step, unlocks number 6. Alone now, shutting the door behind him. Zolo loses his control, grabs a chair, flings it against a wall. Then he sits down heavily on the bed, his head in his hands. He tiredly takes off his gun belt, pulls off his boots. A squeaking of bed springs seeps through the paper walls. Zolo looks up. Zolo pounds on the wall. Jack responds in Spanish, muffled, through the wall. Again, it is quiet. Zolo closes his eyes. Again, the squeaking starts. Zolo pounds the wall hard 4 times. Jack unleashes a long stream of Spanish insults, ending with one word in perfect English.
Asshole.
Zolo goes red with rage, starts to respond but has to cough instead. He lifts up the chair to smash it against the wall, but suddenly pauses with it in midair.
Americano.
He drops his chair, quickly slides on his boots, pulls out his gun. Cut to corridor at number 7. Zolo raises his boots, kicks the old board open. Cut to hotel room, the door bangs open, Zolo charging in. The bed is empty. He rushes to the small terrace. Cut to hotel terrace.
There it is,
Zolo
the
sees.
shrine.
Yeah, you tell me, Joan. Yeah. Pointing to it on the map she holds. Jack looks at her.
Yeah, okay, but let's just think about this for 1 second. Because, I mean, God damn it, this guy who's on our tail is good. This guy is impressing the hell out of me.
Are we
Hold
close?
on, my sound went off.
I
so
knew
give
I
me a
wasn't
second.
late. I knew it wasn't me this time.
No, I was like, I don't hear anything, and then nothing happened. Okay. Jack said his line, I could tell. Is it, but we're so close?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But we're so close, and you know it's going to be great, Jack. Whatever it is, it's got to be great.
I know.
He puts the car in gear. Cut to a soldier on horseback, 100 yards back up the road, raises a walkie-talkie to his lips.
They've turned into the road of the Virgin. They won't get far.
Exterior jungle road. It dead ends at the wall of vegetation bordering a river. Tumbling waters can be heard. Jack and Joan get out of the car. Interior Renault. Jack pulls out wires from underneath the dash.
I'll never forget that cough.
Anything in the back?
Just a bunch of crap.
He's still fiddling with wires, all thumbs. Joan reaches over and turns the key left in the ignition. Cut to terrace. One of Zolo's men has rushed out to join him. Raises his high-powered rifle over the railing, aiming at the departing Renault. But Zolo pushes the barrel down. He has another idea. He lifts up a walkie-talkie, starts giving orders as he gazes after the car.
They're going east to meet you. Stay with them, but don't show yourself. Let them think you're safe.
Cut to exterior road leading out of town. Morning. The Renault bombs along. Cut to interior Renault. Joan has the map out, playing with it, trying to figure it out.
Anything?
I don't know. Look, there's some stuff on the back, too.
Doesn't mean anything.
Maybe it's supposed to be folded. No, I guess not.
The hell with it. We'll take one landmark at a time. Anyone after us?
No, we must be okay. It can't be far. It can't be.
Landmarks don't stay the same, that's all. Things grow on you.
Jack? You hear that?
Waterfall?
She folds the map again, and this time properly. A picture of a waterfall is created.
Where did you get this thing? Out of Mad Magazine?
Cut to a magnificent waterfall cascading down. Jack and Joan thrashing across a pool towards it. Cut to interior cave. Jack and Joan making their way along a dark tunnel, flashlight shining the way.
Leche de madre, mother's milk. The heart is warmed by mother's milk.
They turn a corner.
I'll be damned.
A naturally formed cavern. Rivulets, dripping water and
Lichen.
Shallow, yep, right? Lichen? Yeah, shallow pools. Stalactites and stalagmites fill the cave into prehistoric teeth. The velvet moss, lime formations give the cave an eerie, wet beauty. And in this midst, one stalactite illuminated in a shaft of light, dripping calcium deposits, a pool of white liquid formed on the floor beneath it. Cut to Jack's fold-out field shovel, starting digging into the slime. Joan does what stirring she can with a stick. She pushes her hair back with a clean forearm, smiles happily at Jack.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
What?
digging for treasure with you.
He smiles back just as pleased.
Jack, you're the best time I ever had.
I've never been anybody's best time before.
Crack! The shovel hits something. Jack freezes. He drops the tool, digs in with his hands, finds the solid object, tries to get a handhold, comes up with it, almost loses it, but then gets a good grip with both hands and then holds it up.
Jack, look. A priceless statue.
Priceless hell, it's a clay mold. My birdseed is worth more.
He starts to throw it away in the far reaches of the cavern, but Joan shoots her arm out to stop him.
In my first book, Treasure of Less, they hid the treasure inside the statue.
Jack grins, grabs back the statue, cracks it with the flashlight head. Streaks of light dart throughout the cavern, like green fireflies as the statue shatters apart, leaving Jack holding a large heart-shaped emerald. It shimmers in iridescent forest green. Yeah, baby. Joan grabs the other flashlight, shines it on, and the glow intensifies.
Ooh.
Christ, we could get in trouble for this.
A noise. They turn. Ralph is here, with a gun, glaring.
A bunch of crap, huh? I'll tell you what's a bunch of crap. This book is a bunch of crap. Put the emerald in here, Miss Charles. I'm sick of looking at you.
They look at him. Who is this little jerk who looks like he's spent the last week in a tumble dryer?
Who's he?
I've never seen him before.
I'm talking here.
Sounds like he's from New York.
Yup.
Is there anybody who isn't following you?
I haven't seen New York in 3 years. You got that? Haven't tasted a blint since I was 38. Now I'm finally getting out of the shithole, and you're my ticket to freedom. So give me the before Batman comes home.
Who is this creep?
I'm the creep? At least I'm honest. I'm stealing this stone. I'm not trying to romance it from under her.
Jack starts to say something, but...
You people put me through hell. Look at you. You're too clean. You call this a book? I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill that asshole Ira. I'm going to kill anything that makes a move in the next 2 seconds.
Wall of vegetation. All three appear up the rocky path, all dripping anew from the return through the waterfall in its pool. Ralph stops Jack, motions Joan into the Renault.
Time I had a chauffeur.
Would you give us a moment to say goodbye?
To the con man? What am I, Miss Lonely Hearts? This ain't the climax of one of your pot boilers. Get your butt behind the wheel.
It was my idea to get the stone.
Ah, sure. That's what the great con artist always wants you to think. He made you think you needed it.
Giving Jack a questioning, parting look, Joan climbs behind the wheel. Ralph scoots around to do the passenger side, keeping Jack covered.
I'll see you again.
In your dreams, buddy. See how you like being stuck in South America.
You're amazing. Jack steps forward as the Renault speeds off up the road, raising a hand to Joan while she looks at him growing smaller in the rearview mirror. He doesn't like the South America one bit, not anymore. Cut to interior Renault. Smug as a bug, Ralph pats the Pan Am bag wedged in the console. Joan is tight-lipped. They streak through the trees, break the crest of the hill. Joan and Ralph's faces turn ashen. Brakes screeching. POV shot. Zolo's 16 Jeeps compose an awesome roadblock at the roadside shrine. Cut to exterior road. Jack is kicking down the road, hearing a growing noise. Distant gunshot. Looks up. His POV. The Renault comes bombing around the bend in reverse. A moment later, Zolo's Jeeps bomb around the same bend. Guns blazing. The Renault fishtails. Nose headed towards Jack. Back to scene. In a landscape of little cover. Jack turns on heel and flees. Jack runs like a rabbit. The Renault bears down on Jack. And Zolo and the Jeeps bear down on the Renault. Looking back, Jack gouges the gauges the approaching disaster and turns his eyes forward, and he does a split-second freeze frame mid-stride. His POV Zolo mounted posse of 12 horsemen thunders towards him in the distance up ahead. Interior Renault, Joan and Ralph also seeing the posse. They're wide-eyed. Back to scene. Jack stops dead center of the road, west, east, caught in the posse and Jeep crossfire as the Renault bears down on Jack. Joan cranks the wheel to miss him, sending the car into a triple donut. Whew, whew, whew. The passenger door flies open and Ralph flies out, his dirt slide landing, parting him from his Pan Am bag. Jack sees it, goes barreling towards it. He scoops up the fumble, which tucks it under his arm like Tom Brady before he was an asshole. Takes off for the end zone, which is Joan driving like hell, running after her, then alongside her, but she won't pull back.
Slow down.
They'll catch us.
He jumps in Pony Express style, gunfire cascading after him. The Renault is now headed straight back towards Zolo and the peeps and the Jeeps. Cut to POV shot, Zolo perplexed. Back to scene. The Renault Ue's. Come on, flip a bitch. And then back towards the posse. Ralph picks himself up from the dust, sees the Renault, Zolo, Jeeps in one direction, then the posse coming in the other, firing nonstop. The main contingents race straight for the other. The point of intercept, Ralph. Ralph drops into the nuclear bomb defense position generic to 1950s classrooms. Drop, stop, and roll, bitch. The Renault and following Jeeps swerve to miss Ralph as the posse runs past through the dust as we see Ralph miraculously untrampled and still in a nuclear ball. Sorry, my bad. The Renault turns off the road and roars toward the veil of vegetation. Jeeps in hot pursuit. Gunfire and engines fading. Ralph cautiously peeks over his arms. POV shot. Legs. Horse's legs. Ralph. The posse has Ralph surrounded. Closing his eyes, he reburies his head in his arms. Cut to the Jeeps racing after the Renault. Cut to interior Renault. Holes have been blown through the windows.
They're gaining.
Fast.
POV shot. Up ahead, the terrain is impassable, but for one break in the wall of vegetation, back to scene.
Joan, where are you going?
Where am I going?
Cut to wall of vegetation. The Renault blasts through the break in the vegetation, streaks down the embankment, straight into the river.
Lupe's escape.
Cut to exterior river. Water pours in immediately, partially submerging the vehicle. But simultaneously, the fierce current grabs it and cuts it along, or drags it along. Cut to interior Renault. Wild-eyed, Joan resumes steering like it was doing some good. Laughing heartily, Jack picks up Ralph's bag, pats it like the treasure it holds. Cut to exterior riverside embankment. Scrambling from the Jeeps, Zolo and his men race to the river, some firing from the top of the embankment, others on the run. The Renault is mercifully swept round a bend, out of eyeshot. Cut to interior Renault. A gargantuan roar fades in, smiles wilting. Jack and Joan share a horrified look. POV shot. The river disappears dead ahead, dropping clear out of sight. Back to scene. Jack holds tight to the Pan Am bag.
What are we going to do?
Jump.
Cut to the cataract. The Renault is rapidly pulled towards the falls, the river dropping a murderous plunge of 30-some feet. The Renault is swept over, two figures dropping on either side of it, plummeting to the bottom, where it is guzzled up by a mountain of white water, downriver from the cataract. For a fatal amount of time, no one surfaces. Then Jack bobs up just below the foot of the falls, is carried downstream. Fighting for shore, he gains the left bank, towing his Pan Am bag, spitting out the river, half the river. He's still catching his breath. He's frantically scanning the river for Joan because his POV is mountains of white water. It's raging. Joan is nowhere. Back to scene. Jack drops the Pan Am bag, some of the pleasure gone from his treasure. Slowly, a smile lights his face. His POV 20 yards downriver, choking river water. Joan is crawling up on the bank, purse still strapped across her shoulder and under her arm.
Hey,
She raises her head and, yeah, well, you know what? She's taking a deep breath before she raises her head. She's reviving a bit.
Hey, Joan Wilder.
Yeah. So now she's raising her head and she looks upriver. In her POV, she sees Jack triumphantly holding up the Pan Am bag and across the river.
What a comeback.
Yeah,
I thought you drowned, man.
I did.
You're okay then.
Great. I'm super. Only you're on that side!
The river. Both acknowledge the raging current that separates them, Joan pacing it a few steps.
There's no way across this sucker.
You did this on purpose!
What are you talking about? We just went over a waterfall.
Admit it! You planned it all along. I knew I couldn't count on you. I knew it!
I love you.
I knew it. I just knew it!
What's the name of that hotel in Cartagena?
Hotel Emporio! What do you care?
You just keep walking towards the sunset. You'll get there. It's muddy, but you'll make it. I'll meet you there.
Joan walks downstream at a furious pace, Jack following.
With El Corazon in your pocket. What about my sister?
They don't have to know any better. You got the map.
You've got the stone!
Several rifle shots rudely interrupt. Both dive for cover. Their POV. The soldiers have reached the top of the falls, issued commands by Zolo. Several have begun the difficult climb down on Joan's side. While others keep firing back to scene, Jack has one final thing to yell across the river at Joan.
Trust me.
He blows her a kiss and then ducks into the forest. Come on, George, you better be charming as shit during that kiss. Joan holds cover a moment longer, glaring after him, and then darts away. Cut to interior lobby. Hotel Emporio. Dusk. A pair of extremely muddy feet walk in. As a digital clock changes to 6 p.m. and a clerk looks up and winces as Joan leans on the front desk. Torn dress, wild hair, dazed, confused, and even slightly punch drunk, and covered in mud from the feet up.
I'm Joan Wilder. I have a reservation. I'd like the largest suite you have with the biggest possible bathtub. Send up a bottle of red wine. I'll be ordering some dinner to go with it. And let me know the minute a Jack Colton checks in.
The clerk doesn't blink. Cut to interior freighter on the high seas. Ira's on the phone. Elaine, waiting anxiously near him.
So you made it finally. Got the map? Good. No, you don't talk to her till I get it. Now look. Now look out your window. You see the fort across the bay? See the tower? You take a water taxi right outside your hotel. You meet me there in an hour. All by yourself. Okay? Okay.
He hangs up. He looks at Elaine. Interior suite. Joan looks away from the window, the fort visible across the bay, and puts down the phone. Waiters wheel in trays of food and drink. She dials a new number.
Has a Jack Colton checked in?
Disappointed, she replaces the receiver, keeping her hand on it. Oh,
There's more.
sorry, my bad. There is more, but there's more. Sorry, all of my AirPods are dying. I'm sorry.
Less.
2000 a number.
Read more.
Disappointed. Yeah. She replaces the receiver, keeping her hand on it. Cut to interior hotel lobby night. Joan steps away from the elevator, nerves raw, haunting. Wild look to her. Oblivious to the other guest's stares, she stops at the desk.
Has Jack Colton checked in yet?
In the last 2 minutes? No.
Cut to exterior hotel night. Joan, being watched from a car window, emerges from the hotel into a coastal fog, looks around. She looks across the wharf, and as she does, a regular taxi pulls up to the hotel behind her. Jack gets out, goes inside. Cut to dock. Joan at the dock, moving past the fishing boats until she finds a water taxi. Cut to exterior hotel. Jack comes busting out of the hotel. runs across to the wharf, only to see a water taxi speeding away toward the old fort. Click! A gun cocks at his temple. Cut 2. Exterior decaying fort night. Joan enters the water taxi, or leaves the water taxi, vanishes across a small wooden bridge leading into the fort. Cut 2. Exterior inner compound night. Shadows, ground mist, marshy pools of water. Joan steals past darkened doorways upstairs to tower level. Death hangs in the air. She crosses a swampy expanse, through pools of light cast through the moored freighter, passes a flagpole. No one is anywhere.
Hello? Anyone here?
Not far off, water swishes a moment, flapping around, flapping sound. Joan freezes. All is quiet. She moves along a low stone wall, passes under a palm. A disembodied voice calls out.
Stop right there.
She stops.
Let me see the map.
Where are you?
Let me see the map.
Let me see Elaine.
Elaine is thrust into view, hands bound, held by someone unseen. Elaine hardly recognizes her sister. Joan?
Drop the map and back off.
Joan does. Ira steps from the shadows. A dark look passes between Ira and Joan as he walks towards the map.
If this isn't genuine, if you pull the fast one.
He picks up the map and examines it with a pen light. He doesn't look happy. Elaine shrivels. Putting the pen light in his mouth, Ira pulls out a jeweler's loupe, scrutinizes it even closer. After several moments, he glares at Joan.
Joan Charles, you and your sister can go.
He laughs at his little joke as 2 longshoremen, both carrying rifles, step into the light, one shoving Elaine forward. Joni!
It's okay, Elaine, we're going home.
With a parting glance at Ira, Joan starts to usher Elaine away. They take 2 steps. Sudden machine gun fire shatters the night, a line of bullets exploding across Joan's path, inches from her toes. Zolo's soldiers. In an instant, 2 of Zolo's elite soldiers jump and disarm the longshoreman. Another rams a gun muzzle to Ira's head. Ira reaches for the sky. Jack is pushed into the light, a gun at his back. 3 more elite soldiers emerge from the darkness, semi-surrounding the group. A look passes between Jack and Joan. A long moment elapses. Zolo, in the darkness, a lighter flares, illuminating Zolo's face. Lighting his cigarillo, Zolo saunters in, his stage set.
Zolo.
Leering at Joan, Zolo walks over to Ira. He holds out his hand. Ira painfully surrenders the map. Zolo stares at it, then flicks his bic and sets it aflame. Ira gasps, horrified. Zolo drops the flaming map. Ira hopelessly stomps the flame.
The map is shit.
Ralph, with a new black eye, is shoved forward to the ground by the last elite soldier.
They already have the stone.
Ira glares at Ralph.
I had it, Ira, in my hands. The hands that are going to break every bone in your body.
Zolo throws him against a wall, then casually parades around, savoring the reins of power. Passing a rotting wooden gate in the low brick wall, Zolo glances over it, pauses. He tosses a cigarillo over the wall. The croc. Jaws snap with lightning speed, snatching it in midair. A few crocodiles move forward, the rare markings of King Croc burst into the light. Zolo smiles. He moves towards Joan. Elaine cowers, immediately stepping aside. Face to face, Zolo's eyes bore into Joan.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Where is the stone?
We dug, there was nothing there.
He saw it.
He's a liar. He lies.
Zolo barks some Spanish. 2 soldiers drag Joan to the wall. Jack tenses as soldier steps in closer. Joan sees over the wall and gasps. The crocs slither in the putrid swamp water. Zolo gently takes Joan's hand as if he were going to kiss it, freezes it partway.
Crocodiles shed tears while they are eating their prey. You have heard of these tears, I am sure. But have you seen them?
In a flash, Zolo whips out his stiletto, makes a quick razor cut on Joan's hand.
Stop.
A soldier jams an automatic rifle in his belly. Cut 2. A soldier holding Joan, Zolo, forcing her arm over the gate. With sadistic pleasure, slowly lowers it. Joan's hand, blood trickles off Joan's finger, drips into the slimy water. The crocs start to move, smelling a meal. King Croc out front. Zolo.
You can forego this agony. Simply tell me, where is El Corazon? Where is the heart?
All right. You want it? I'll tell you where it is.
Zolo eases off.
It's, there's a bar on the way into town, Lupe's. I met a woman there. She took that stone with a straight flush. Damn, you should have seen it.
The lie was pitiful. Joan winces as Zolo dismisses Jack with a grunt, turning back towards Joan.
I hope he was a better lover than he is a liar.
A desperate look passes between Jack and Joan as Zolo again forces her hand over.
Okay, let me try again.
A soldier jams a gun butt into his groin. There is a peculiar clinkish sound. Everybody freezes. Jack, doubled over, straightens up again, all eyes on him. He looks a little weird. He starts doing the strange contortions, shaking his leg, turning, twisting, trying to contain the bulge easing down his thigh. Come on, gray sweatpants season. No one knows what the hell he's doing. Ira and Ralph glance at each other. Zolo looks murderous. Crocodiles move closer towards the gate, and King Croc is leading. Joan looks questioningly at Jack, and he gives up. He can't stop it.
The heart? It's where you find it.
The stone drops out from his pant leg, rolls onto his scruffy boot. Everybody looks at it, except Joan, who looks at Jack's face, wondering how long he would have waited.
You want it? Choke on it.
El Corazon arcs high in the air in a slowed motion, sparkles of emerald light refracting off the stone. Everyone stares skyward in seemingly suspended flight. Whee! The stone reaches the arc's apex, hitting a palm frond. It drops from sight. After a moment, it rolls into view, down a frond, onto another. It descends, sliding from leaf to leaf. An eternity passes. The stone rolls onto the last frond, drops directly onto an outstretched hand, the hand of Zolo. He looks over at Jack and smiles.
Thank you.
Crash! An explosion of scaly skin and razored teeth. King Croc lunges through the rotting gate and tears away Zolo's hand, taking the emerald with it. Zolo screams, drops to his knees, drops to stiletto. Everyone is stunned. Then Jack decks his guard, grabbing his machine gun, starts spraying around, everyone diving for cover. Joan snatches up Zolo's stiletto and a lantern, yanks Elaine into a dark corridor. Zolo staggers behind an old stone wall, wrapping his bandana tightly around his stump. He leans back, pressing the arm up against his chest to stem the flow of blood. His lip trembles, but he's not about to succumb to the setback. His hatred is too great. One-handed, he lights a cigarillo, the energy of vengeance boiling up. Ira running the hallway. Hellway. Yeah, hell yeah. And then Ralph running the hell after him. And then cut to Jack squinting off screen. King Croc moving along a battlement wall.
I got you, you yellow-bellied bastard.
Yeah, he sprays the last rounds of the machine gun, tosses it aside, and then goes after the Croc. Ira's men on an upper level, keeping Zolo's men at bay, firing rifles at them. Jack, bullets ricocheting around him, chases King Croc around a battlement wall. The Croc headed toward an empty cannon portal. Distant sirens fade in. Ira's men, they exchange looks, maneuvering back to the wharf now, firing as they go. King Croc enters the cannon portal. Jack dives. Jack grabs the last bit of King's Croc powerful tail, holds on for dear life. Ira, he grabs onto one of his retreating men.
Bring the boat around to the other side of the tower.
As the man runs off, Ira turns to see Ralph diving at him, tackling him around one ankle.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Ralph, we're family. We're a team. You're hysterical.
Ralph riffs up Ira's loafer, not a loafer, a loafer. He runs away. Ralph whips the shoe at him and he keeps going.
You're a dead man, Ira. You're a dead man in an ugly sharkskin suit.
And he chases Ira into the night. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Cut to Joan. Drags Elaine along a battlement. Joan spots Jack a good distance off. Excuse me, hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. All right. Joan spots Jack a good distance off, still hanging on to King Croc's tail. Zolo coughs off screen, and Joan spins about. Zolo is 8 yards off. He is having a cigarillo dangling from his lips. Now with his remaining hand, he removes a spur from his boot. Blades of his razor sharpness clicks out from it. One of Zolo's men, shot, falls off of the roof. His machine gun skeetering along the dock to come to a stop near Jack, Zolo, and Joan. Zolo advancing.
How will you die, Joan Charles? Slow like a pace of the turtle, or fast like the shooting star?
Joan has to frown at that, even as she backs up, shielding Elaine into a corner. Elaine is bug-eyed, clutching Joan's shoulder. Zolo is a dark hulk, silhouetted against a diffused light. He slowly approaches. Hands behind her back, Joan clicks open Zolo's own stiletto. He's advancing. She slings it. The stiletto flips out over end, off target as well. Zolo drops the spur, snatches the stiletto out of midair by the handle. Joan gulps. Elaine faints. Zolo advances with his stiletto.
Jack!
Jack, still battling with the tail. Jack glances off screen. His POV, Zolo stalks Joan up on the battlement. Back to scene. Jack sees the machine gun just out of reach. Joan backs off, avoiding the dangerous old grating in the floor that covers an alligator pit. Zolo makes a lunge. Joan shields herself with her purse. She gets in a few licks, a kick, a scratch, a gouge. Zolo sees red. He throws her back against a wall.
Jack!
Jack! Struggling with King Croc. Jack tries to snag the machine gun with his toe. Can't. He glances at Joan, the Croc, the gun. Torn with indecision, he finally lets go of one hand, reaches for the gun. He can't get it. One of life's recurring battles. Love or money.
Jack!
Son of a bitch.
Jack makes his decision. He lets go of King Croc's tail. It belly flops into the water. Below, as Jack grabs the gun, aims at Zolo. He fires. Click, click, click. Empty.
Son of a bitch.
He runs back to the wall, starts climbing to rescue Joan. Zolo grabs Joan, inches the stiletto towards her face. Joan's hand is on his wrist, holding it back. He forces her to the ground. The nasty spur is almost within reach of her free hand. Jack climbs as fast as he can. He's still too far away. Joan and Zolo. Joan's hand around Zolo's wrist. The stiletto is deadlocked seconds from her face. The cigarillo burning between his lips. Zolo is 1 foot on her arm. She strains to reach the spur. Jack climbing. Joan and Zolo still pinned. Joan's fingers remain an inch from the spur. Zolo presses in for the kill, puffing a cigarillo. He coughs. Thinking fast, Joan switches handholds on his wrists, grabs the cigarillo from his lips, burns a ember into his hand. The flesh sizzles. Zolo drops the stiletto. Ouch. Giving Joan his feet. And while he's still off balance, she lunges up and with all her weight, lands a punch to his jaw that knocks him backwards and over the grating. He whirls, crashing through the thing face first, falling straight down into the pit where the Crocs move in. Jack comes over the top to see that. Just in time. He is walking towards Joan now, gazing at her, knowing she is every inch is equal. Yeah, bitch. He nods several times in approval. Yep. Joan finally smiles, her own heroine.
Hell of a right cross you got there, lady.
They embrace, speeding up the fort. Cut to back to scene. Acknowledging the imminent police presence, Jack lets go of Joan, turns to Elaine.
You okay?
Of course. I've got my little I've got my big sister with me.
Jack Colton, pleased to meet you, but don't ever come to South America again.
He starts backing away now.
Get to the American consulate, explain everything.
Where are you going?
They might just believe you, but don't mention my name. Cartagena cops and I go way back.
You're leaving? You're leaving me?
You'll be all right, Joan Wilder. You'll be just fine. You always were.
He vanishes in the darkness, but Joan can't believe it.
Jack Colton. Damn it!
Cut to exterior New York day. Just like today, a cold, blustery day. Snow on the ground. Kites fly up in the breezes. Bicycles race by. People stroll. It's Central Park, and Joan winds up a path. There is a new spring in her walk, more assurance. Emerging from the park, Joan moves up past the Museum of National History. Come on, Upper West Side. Tinkling bells stop her. She slowly turns. POV. A Puerto Rican vendor's nearby display. Countless heart lockets. Show them.
Like
Thank
this, maybe?
Yep. Crystal, gold, jade, they're hanging from a bar. Yep. Interspersed with tiny bell-laden wind chimes. With a nostalgic smile, Joan fingers the locket Jack gave her, continues walking. Up ahead, she sees some tough punks sitting along the bench, legs stretched out, harassing passers-by. Rude. Joan pauses, then keeps going the way she intended, straight towards them. They immediately see her, as a whistler's dream, start hawking at her. Head held high, she ignores them, walks right past them, hair flowing proudly in the wind. Cut to exterior her street. She walks toward her building. Suddenly, she hears a strange horn, not like any car horn she's ever heard. She looks at the road beside her and steps back with a gasp. A boat is actually driving down her street, a big monster of a luxury dreamboat. Actually, it's not driving. Closer inspection reveals it's being towed, and at the helm is Jack Colton. The boat stops alongside her. Jack tosses her a thick envelope.
You're half.
Half? Who said you're gonna have half?
That's what equal partners take.
And he puts a foot up on the side of the boat to lean over and grin at her.
I like the crocodile boots.
Yeah, that poor old yellow striped guy developed fatal indigestion. Died in my arms.
Can't blame him. If I was gonna die, that would be the place I'd pick. Fuck
How
that
about you
one.
taking me on a tour for a change?
Okay.
He reaches down to pull her up to join him.
Then we'll come back here and you can pack.
Pack?
Isn't it time we got out of the jungle?
Aww.
Their arms go around each other. They embrace like the world was just beginning and it wasn't like March of 2020. And they lock themselves into a kiss that never ends as the boat sails away into the sunset of Manhattan. Come on, Hudson River, flying Colombian colors. El Corazon, letter on its keel, fade out to the end.
Oh my God. I love this movie so much, and I wish it was streaming somewhere right now.
I know.
We're watching our wonderful little reading here filled with mispronunciations of everything from Cartagena to I don't know, random,
I'm
easy.
so sorry.
Thank you for watching and have a wonderful night, day, whatever.